Chapter 1232. TSK, don't beg me for help. Ling Long was unconvinced. If you beg me for help, you'll have to acknowledge me as your master. Don't worry, I'll treat you well. Ling Long raised her eyebrows at Lu Chun. Lu Chun's face was filled with righteous indignation. So you've been having ideas about me. So what? Lu Chun said angrily. I've treated you as a friend, but you've been trying to take me in. Ling Long, you've gone too far. The conversation between the two of them had already stunned the rest of the crowd. This woman seemed to want to take this man in, but this man resisted. Someone whispered to his companion. Is this beauty trying to force herself on him? Is there such a good thing? That man would rather die than submit? Hey, did I hear wrongly? His companion pondered for a long time and shook his head. I don't think you heard wrongly. I don't understand why he would rather die than submit. Could it be that in their world, women are superior to men, and men need to protect their chastity? That's possible. These people naturally didn't understand the seventh heaven and didn't know what it meant to acknowledge a master, but they were still shocked by the quarrel between the two. Not to mention who would listen to whom in the future. The two of them were betting on the Black God. That was a super boss that could destroy Earth's destiny planet. Lu Chun shook his head and turned to Ling Yun and the rest. Everyone, I'm sorry. My friend has such a temper. Since I've said it, then, if I kill the Black God, can you tell me the location of all the exits to Earth's destiny planet? The group of big shots gaped and couldn't react for a long time. Young friend, you're not joking, are you? You can kill the Black God alone? That a monster that even 10 perfected immortals together couldn't kill. The 10 great celestial martial emperors are all 6 tribulation true immortals. You clearly said that you're not an immortal. How can you kill the Black God? Friend, the two of you can fight, but this joke isn't funny at all. Lu Chun shook his head. Who said that only immortals can kill demons? I don't know Black God's power, but even if I can't kill Black God, it won't be a loss for you guys. That may be the case, but Ling Yun hesitated again and again, then suddenly said to Lu Chun, Little friend, can you show me your badge? Although this was the real world, it was also a world that had been sacrificed. Unlike the planets on Ice Plateau, the badge was still effective. Lu Chun waved his hand, revealing half of the badge. Even Ling Long turned her head sideways to sneak a peek at Lu Chun's badge. Human King Realm. Human King Realm? He really wasn't an immortal. But how can the seventh heaven reach the Human King Realm? Ling Yun frowned. Young, senior, this is a serious matter. I'm just the patriarch of a family. I don't dare to make a decision. Can you wait for a moment? We need to inform the immortal martial emperor. Lu Chun didn't want to make things difficult for them. Tell them to hurry up. I can't stay here for too long. Very soon, the immortal martial emperor has a teleportation talisman. Please wait for a moment. Ling Yun left temporarily. It seemed like he was thinking of a way to inform the 3 immortal martial emperors. After a few minutes, 3 figures suddenly appeared on the arena. The disciple of the Ling family who was in the middle of the test trembled in fear. It wasn't just him. The surrounding seniors all knelt down and greeted the 3 people. Greetings, Great Emperors Wuxiu, Great Emperor Tianruwei, and Great Emperor Qingyun. The 3 of them didn't look surprised as they gestured for everyone to rise. Then, the 3 of them teleported to Ling Yun's side. The youngest of the 3, the Great Earth Emperor, said loudly to Ling Yun, Ling Yun, you said there were guests from the 7th heaven who promised to kill Black God? Are these 2 people? Ling Yun said respectfully, Yes, Great Emperors Wuxiu. Wuxiu glanced at Lu Chun and saw the words Human King Realm. He frowned and shouted angrily, How dare a mere human king pretend to be an immortal? Lu Chun didn't change his expression. He cupped his fist and said, I never said I was an immortal. I only said that we came from the 7th heaven. How can there be a mortal in the 7th heaven? The other person shouted, Tell me, what is your purpose in coming to the mortal destiny star? Lu Chun knew very well that Ling Long wouldn't help him now. She was waiting to see him make a fool of himself. I accidentally entered the myriad world maze. It's that simple to find the exit, Lu Chun said. I also said that you will give me the location of the exit after I kill Black God. No matter if I succeed or not, you won't lose anything. The oldest great emperor frowned. He looked at Lu Chun and said, "My young friend, my name is Tian Rue. It's not that we are suspicious, but the mortal destiny star is in danger now. We can't even take care of ourselves. We can't afford to be disturbed. Your request sounds reasonable, but what you said before was hard to believe. It's common knowledge that the seventh heaven is the weakest individual immortal, but you're not. How can we not be suspicious?" The old man was obviously more polite. Lu Chun said calmly, "My situation is a little special. It's normal for you to be suspicious. So tell me, how can you be willing to believe me?" The old man thought for a while and said, "It's not difficult. You just have to prove that you're as strong as a true immortal. I have a true immortal's testing stone here. First, since you went to the seventh heaven, you should have the strength of an individual immortal. Second, you promised to kill Black God, so you should have the strength of a true immortal. As long as you can test the strength of a 7-star true immortal, I'll believe you." Lu Chun nodded. "Okay, I'll test it. Thank you, Senior Tian Rue." The Ling family's disciple test was temporarily stopped. The cultivator testing stone on the arena was changed to a giant stone the size of a small mountain. "This is the immortal's testing stone?" Many Ling family disciples looked at the stone curiously. Tian Rue looked at the stone, then looked at Lu Chun and said, "To be fair, let's test if the testing stone is accurate. Ling Yun, Su Zi, come and test it first." The two family heads came to the arena. "What are your levels?" The old man asked them. Emperor Tian Rue, Ling Yun is a 3-star earth cultivation. Emperor Tian Rue, Su Zi is a 2-star earth cultivation. Tian Rue nodded and took a few steps back. Test it. The two's final test results were the same as the results they reported in advance. However, their full-strength punches did not even shake the testing stone mountain. The reaction was not as big as when the other disciples hit the strength testing stone. This made them feel a little embarrassed. Then, Tian Rue walked to the testing stone mountain. He looked at Lu Chun and said, "I'm a 5 Tribulations 5-star true immortal." Then he hit the testing stone mountain with his palm. Suddenly, a powerful and boundless spiritual chi stirred up a gust of wind. The nearby disciples were sent flying dozens of meters away. If it weren't for the other 2 true immortals, they probably wouldn't have been able to stop themselves from flying. The testing stone mountain shook. After a few minutes, the results were shown. 5-star true immortal. The three's test results were the same as their own. It seemed that the testing stone mountain was accurate. "Lil, friend, it's your turn." Tian Rue held out his hand and looked at Lu Chun with a smile. Lu Chun took a deep breath and walked to the center of the arena. Looking at the testing stone mountain, Lu Chun narrowed his eyes. He also wanted to know how many stars of true immortal he was. Chapter 1233. Lu Chun was already very familiar with the testing stones, but this was his first Celestial Realm testing stone. Celestial Realm Strength Testing Stone. There shouldn't be any accidents. Lu Chun narrowed his eyes slightly. Tian Rue seemed to have heard Lu Chun's words. After thinking for a while, he guessed Lu Chun's meaning and said, "You're not afraid of breaking the testing stone, are you?" Lu Chun was a little embarrassed. None of his testing stones had left alive. "Huh, I heard from Ling Yun that you're nameless, right? Little friend John Doe, when we were young, who didn't break a few testing stones. But you don't have to worry. This is the Celestial Realm testing stone. It can't be broken." Lu Chun sighed in relief. Since that was the case, he could test with peace of mind. "Senior Tian Rue, don't I need to activate my status or use my cultivation technique?" "Mine doesn't need to. This is the Heaven's Divination testing stone. The stone mountain follows the heavenly Tao and has its own mysteries. You only need to use 50% or 60% of your spiritual power, and it can deduce your growth process according to the characteristics of your spiritual power and the laws of heaven and earth. Finally, it can deduce your current level." Tian Rue explained, "Actually, it has another function. If you can offer enough beast pills, it can deduce your upper level. This is also why I said you can't break the Heaven's Divination testing stone. You don't even need to use your full strength. How can you damage it?" Lu Chun's eyes widened. It can deduce the upper level? That's right, but this function is somewhat useless. Firstly, according to the number of heavenly tribulations, those of us who came back from the sevenfold heaven have a general understanding of our own potential. Secondly, there are only 3 genuine immortals left in the dusty planet. The Heaven Divination Testing Stone only tests the potential of the human immortal path. Even individual immortals can't test it. The rest of the people in the dusty planet can't use it. Lu Chen hurriedly asked, "Can I try this function? I have beast pills. You want to test your upper level? Didn't you say you're not an immortal? Then you can't be a true immortal. If you don't open the immortal path, you can't test it." Lu Chen didn't open the path to immortality, but his path of cultivation continued. Seeing that Lu Chen wanted to say something but hesitated, Tianruwei said, "If you insist on taking the test, you can contribute your own beast core. Before placing the beast core on the Heaven Spill Stone, it would automatically absorb the beast core. The Heaven Spill Stone can be tested if there are green runes flashing on the stone wall." Lu Chen quickly cupped his fists. "Thank you." After saying that, Lu Chen placed the bags of beast on in front of the stone mountain. After placing around 100,000 Heaven Spill stones, a layer of green light flashed on the surface of the Heaven Spill Stone, faintly revealing a talisman. Green light flowed on the surface of the Heaven Evolution Stone. Tianruwei reminded, "The Heaven Evolution Great Formation has been activated. You can test it now." Since there was no need to store up energy, Lu Chen directly punched out with his own spiritual power. Tianruwei said that he only needed to use 50% to 60% of his strength, but Lu Chen used 50% of his strength for this punch. With a loud boom, everyone felt the ground beneath their feet shake violently. Then, the ground cracked. A powerful spiritual power suddenly exploded in the field. The 2 perfected immortals, Zhuoxiu and Chengyun, were originally just watching the show casually. Who knew that nameless casual punch would produce such a terrifying spiritual power fluctuation? What are they doing now? Zhuoxiu, quick, protect the spiritual power formation. Otherwise, this group of juniors won't be able to withstand the aftershock. What kind of joke is this? How can a human king have such spiritual power? Zhuoxiu looked at Lu Chen in shock as he quickly joined forces with Chengyun to activate a spiritual power shield. Only then did the aftershock not continue to spread. Ling Yun and the other patriarchs were even more shocked. This spiritual power is even more powerful than Emperor Tianrui's? I think he didn't use his full strength at all. Just the spiritual power alone is already something we can't withstand. He's really just a mortal? The power of a mortal is comparable to an immortal or a demon. At this moment, Ling Long was nervously staring at the testing stone. Even though she was the person who was most familiar with Lu Chen's strength was still a mystery to her. Lu Chen quietly waited for the final result. He was also a little nervous now. How was the effect of these 4 years of closed-door cultivation? After waiting for 5 minutes, the entire place was silent for 5 minutes. Lu Chen suddenly had an ominous premonition. He stared at the Heaven Spill Stone and turned to ask Tianruwei, "Senior Tianruwei, what's wrong? The result is still not out yet." Tianruwei was also staring at the Heaven Spill Stone. "You're testing 2 items, and the results are out at the same time. It might be deducing your path to immortality now." Lu Chen heaved a sigh of relief. An hour later "Senior Tianruwei, it's already been an hour." Lu Chen's eyes were a little dry from staring. Tianruwei was also very depressed. The result was still not out after an hour. Sengoku and Venerable Immortals used the Heaven Spill Stone to test, and there were no problems. Why was it not working after this kid tested it? Look, the runes on the Heaven Spill Great Formation are still flowing. There should be a result soon. As soon as he finished speaking, the runes on the surface of the Heaven Spill Stone suddenly shone brightly, and a few words appeared on the wall. "The heaven-defying path cannot be deduced." The moment that line of words appeared, the entire Heaven Spill Stone suddenly exploded from the inside to the outside. The explosion was so fierce that not a single piece of the Heaven Spill Stone was left. All of them turned into dust. The huge stone mountain in the arena disappeared in an instant, leaving only smoke and dust in the arena. At this moment, Lu Chun, Tianrui, Ling Long, Zuixiu, and Xingyun's expressions were indescribable. Everyone else was petrified after a long time. Lu Chun closed his mouth and swallowed his saliva. Obviously, it was impossible for this thing to stick together. Didn't you say that it wouldn't break? Its F***king broken to the point that it can't break anymore. Where's the trust between people? Is it so difficult to trust someone? Cough, cough, cough. Aye. This is an accident, Tianrui said absent-mindedly. It's more than an accident. This is unheard of since ancient times and unseen in 10,000 years. Behind Lu Chun, Ling Long said blankly, I really can't travel with this fella anymore, or I won't be able to take this kind of stimulation. He can even break the heaven-spill stone. This is something that has never been recorded in the ancient books of my clan. I'm afraid that it would be an accident if someone else broke the testing stone, but this fella, it would be an accident if he didn't break the testing stone. Lu Chun was a little embarrassed. As expected, it's better not to touch the testing stone in the future. I can't touch anything, whether it's an all-out test or a deduction test. However, the testing stone didn't show my rank at the end. Lu Chun said regretfully. Xing didn't want him to pay back then, but this time he wasn't familiar with Tianrui, so he probably wouldn't be so easy to talk to. Senior Tianrui, I don't have much savings these few years. Here are 800,000 beast cores, some medicinal herbs, spirit stones, and 3 sets of clothes, Tianrui sighed. Although the heaven spill stone is precious, we've already left Jiutian. What's the use of keeping it? Suddenly, the 3 true immortals, Tianrui, Zuixiu, and Xingyun, stood in front of Lu Chun and cupped their fists at Lu Chun. Our only wish now is that Nameless Senior can kill the Black God. Chapter 1234. This time, Lu Chun had no choice but to accept the mission. For Dust Planet, this might be their last chance. Tianrui and the others did not dare to delay. They asked Lu Chun to wait for one more day to give them time to prepare. Tianrui and the other 2 great emperors issued a heavenly emperor order, requesting the powerhouses above the level of a great cultivator and the remaining 26 loose immortals to rush to the Black Godly Lair. The next morning, Lu Chun and Ling Long set off with the Ling family. To prevent others from being unable to fly, the 2 of them rode on the Ice Phoenix. People flying on swords could be seen everywhere in the sky. There were also many people riding on treasure mounts. These people must have taken some low-level mounts from Jiutian before Dust Planet was sacrificed. There are quite a lot of people. Ling Long said, Are you really confident in killing the Black Godly Lair? Lu Chun looked at the woman. You know the Black Godly Lair? Who knows? Every world has a different name. But 7 out of the 10 true immortals were killed. That guy's strength is definitely terrifying. As she spoke, Ling Long gave Lu Chun a teleportation talisman. If you can't beat him, use this to escape. Lu Chun looked at Ling Long in surprise. You actually care about my life? Don't you immortals have no feelings? Ling Long's expression changed slightly. She seemed a little depressed. After a while, she slowly said, My family is known as the #1 tantric sect in Jiutian. Our ancestors have been collecting information about Jiutian for generations. From wild monsters, bosses, equipment, to hidden dungeons, missions, battle pets, techniques, and sets, we know almost everything. Lu Chun did not understand why Ling Long would say this, but he did not interrupt her. He only listened carefully. As for the tribulation, as the first qualitative change in Jiutian, our research is naturally the most. After 1,000 years of research, we summarized a whole set of theories. Under what kind of strength can summon a level 9 tribulation, and what level of physical strength must be to pass it? Other than physical strength, there is another important point, which is the Taoist heart. And our family has a cultivation method that can help those who are going through the tribulation cut off their worldly ties. Lu Chun frowned. There's such a method? Wait, the ice heart technique you cultivated before, could it be? Ling Long nodded. That's right. Lu Chun frowned and said, "No wonder I feel that you are a little different from the other genuine immortals. Of course, the difference is only a little. You're a little more enthusiastic than them. It turns out that you have not really cut off your mortal bonds." "You? Why are you telling me this?" Lu Chun suddenly looked at Ling Long vigilantly. He had to be on guard against this woman. She seemed to be trying to get him to acknowledge her as his master. Ling Long smiled helplessly. "I'm telling you this because I want to tell you that there are some things that we can't decide. Even those true immortals have some mortal desires in their hearts. Look at Tian Rue. When he returned to his own world, wasn't he a little different from other true immortals? Some immortals become numb in order to become stronger. Some immortals have no choice but to become numb. Not everyone has the courage to walk the path of defying the heavens." Lu Chen narrowed his eyes slightly. This woman could actually say something like that. It did not seem like her style. But then again, what Ling Long said made sense. Perhaps there are differences between immortals. This casual conversation allowed Lu Chun to see a slightly different Ling Long. In the end, Ling Long put on a stern face again. "Forget it. Your life and death has nothing to do with me. Anyway, remember our bet. Once you use the transportation talisman, it's equivalent to me saving you. You have to acknowledge me as your master." With that, Ling Long went to the side to cultivate the ice heart technique. Lu Chen widened his eyes. Good heavens, this woman changed her face too quickly. A few hours later, they followed the main group to the sky above a belt of black fog. At this time, the sky was dark. These were all cultivators who had rushed over from all over. On the ground below, there was a long and narrow area formed by the black fog. Looking down, it looked like a black river. However, due to the dense black fog, the surface of the lake could not be seen at all. Lu Chun could see that a large number of black shadows rushed out of the thick fog and quickly surged in all directions. These creatures that crawled out were pitch black all over. They were shaped like apes, and their bodies were far larger than that of ordinary people. They were agile and used all four limbs. There was a huge number of them, and they continuously drilled out of the thick fog. Not far away, on the back of a red-crowned crane, Tianrei invited Lu Chen over. Lu Chen jumped on the red-crowned crane's back and found that the three true immortals were here. Nameless. This used to be called the Immortal Dust River. Although there were demons living here, they were suppressed by the cultivators and did not dare to leave the Immortal Dust River. It was barely peaceful. Later, when the earthly destiny star was sacrificed, this river changed. The river's surface was filled with black fog, and these ape-like demons were released crazily. The normal black apes are not very strong. They are about 5-star cultivators. However, they have very strong shields. There are also some strong black apes whose strength may reach the Emperor level, or even Theo the Great, the human king level. Our immortal cultivators are retreating again and again. Even though we have 10 true immortals on our side, we are still retreating. Most importantly, there's a black god living here. Its strength is unusually strong. I suspect that it may have reached the strength of a 7-star true immortal. Even with 10 true immortals working together, we were still defeated. Lu Chen nodded. Those shields should be provided by the Black God. As long as we kill the Black God with the strength of your world, it should be enough to destroy them. Have you collected all the information I need? Don't worry about this. We have records of the exits of the earthly destiny star. We will not miss a single one. Tian Rue said, "All right, I'm going down." After saying that, Lu Chun directly jumped down from the sky. Tian Rue's exclamation came from behind. "Nameless, you're going down alone? What about us?" It seemed that they had gathered so many people to help Lu Chun deal with those black apes. "Don't come down, or you will be injured." Lu Chun hurriedly shouted. If these great cultivators came down, it would only affect the speed of the little beast and the others. He had to warn them. The wind whistled in his ears. Lu Chen did not know why, but he remembered the final result given by the Sky Spill Stone. The path of defying the heavens could not be deduced. You don't know the answer either? Fine. The testing stone did not give me a result. I can only find the answer from the black god. A long spear appeared beside Lu Chun. Lu Chun grabbed the void god-destroying spear and shouted, "God and demon symbiosis. Dragon god form." Suddenly, Lu Chun transformed into a white-haired, golden-armored god of war. Like a meteor, sparks flew as he fell from the sky. Spearway, star-shattering. With a boom, Lu Chun's spear directly hit the surface of the 1,000-mile immortal dust river. The river surface was suddenly split into two. The river water was monstrous, setting off huge waves that were dozens of meters high. It directly hit the riverbed of Lu Chun's river. Black God, come out. Chapter 1235. Lu Chun split the immortal dust river in half with his spear, causing the black fog to disperse. Countless black apes swarmed over when they saw someone intruding into their nest. Lu Chun summoned the three lesser source beasts. Lesser source, I'll leave these guys to you. Okay, Dad. Lesser source, Furball, and lesser source pounced on the black ape army. The three charged into the black ape army and started a massacre. It could be said that if the experts here did not come out, the three of them could wipe out the black ape army. Of course, there were experts among the black apes. Soon, a few huge black apes surrounded the three of them, preventing them from going crazy in the black ape army. At the same time, the immortal dust river did not fall for a long time. Suddenly, a pair of red eyes lit up on the riverbed. Sengoku? The voice suddenly sounded, but when he saw Lu Chun in the air, he dismissed the idea. Human King Realm? How is that possible? With that, the riverbed shook and the ground on both sides of the riverbed began to collapse. Soon, a huge beast stood up from the immortal dust river. As soon as he stood up, Lu Chun sucked in a breath of air. This guy is 200 meters tall. It was pitch black and shaped like an ape. A mere human king dares to provoke me. Wu Jiqi? The ape's eyes were filled with killing intent. You're courting death. Ling Long, who was sitting on the ice phoenix, could not help but stand up and look at the huge beast below in shock. Is that Wu Jiqi, one of the four divine monkeys? He's extremely good at controlling water, and Nameless is good at controlling fire. It's hard to say who will win in this battle of water and fire. Immortal technique, heavenly water, bone erosion, soul disintegration. This guy didn't talk nonsense and directly attacked. With a wave of his hand, a monstrous wave smashed towards Lu Chun from all directions. Since the other party did not want to waste time talking, it was exactly what Lu Chun wanted. He growled, "Spear Dao, Empyrean Spear." The god-slaying spear's body instantly emitted raging flames. Lu Chun merged with the spear and stabbed out. The spear struck the water screen together with the spear. With a boom, the water curtain in the air exploded. The water droplets splashed out and smashed into the trees. The surrounding trees were pierced through by the water droplets, and the trees were snapped one after another. After one move, all the trees within a radius of 100 miles around the immortal dust river fell down, outlining an oval area. This was the image of the force field created by the collision of the two's spiritual energies. At this moment, it was perfectly outlined by the surrounding broken wood. Oh my God, the area of effect is too wide. This is just the two of them testing each other out, but the power is already so shocking. Is this a battle between immortals? As expected, it's far beyond the scope of human power. However, if it's just a tie in the first test, John Doe doesn't seem to have a chance to win. Wu Jiqi is extremely powerful. His water manipulation technique is hard to guard against. At the same time, his self-healing ability is extremely strong. Last time, the 10 great immortal martial emperors were dragged to death by him. A loose immortal side. At this moment, Tian Rue and the other two were watching the battle seriously. The two of them were evenly matched just now, but Wu Jiqi is better at prolonged battles. His self-healing ability is too terrifying. If he takes down the enemy in a short period of time, he won't have a chance to win. Tian Rue said. Zhua Xiu said, Wu Jiqi is known as the water ghost. His water manipulation technique is already at the peak. Nameless doesn't know if he has a chance to win. At this moment, Tianrei suddenly said, "Everyone get ready. If the situation is urgent, we can help." "Are we really going to fight?" Zuishio immediately stood up and asked. Tianrui said, "I'm afraid this is our last chance. If he loses, our mortal fate planet's hope will be even slimmer. We can't just stand by and watch. If necessary, we must help him." Zuishio and Chengya nodded at the same time. Lu Chun was pushed back 100 meters. His body was full of wounds from the water droplets. He looked up at his opponent in shock. Although Wu Jiqi was also pushed back 100 meters, he didn't have any injuries because he didn't want to let Lu Chun get close to him. Although the spiritual power of Empyrean Spear and bone-eroding, soul-dissolving spear canceled each other out, they were in completely different states. Besides, the water cultivation technique was long-lasting, while the fire cultivation technique was explosive. The collision between the two resulted in a tie. Obviously, he was at a disadvantage. "This guy is stronger than I thought." Lu Chen narrowed his eyes. Lu Chun turned to look at the little beast and found that they were in a life-and-death battle. The shields of these black apes were much stronger than those of the two worlds they had swept through before. Moreover, they were very agile and more intelligent than the black demons and black demons. Seeing the powerful strength of Xiao Yuan and the other two, they soon adopted a roundabout strategy instead of coming to their deaths in groups. Only a few powerful black apes were restraining the little beast and the other two. As more and more members of the Black Absolute Army arrived, the pressure on the three beasts increased. The Black Absolute Army is indeed much stronger than the Black Demon Army and the Black Evil Army. Lu Chun took a deep breath. He couldn't be distracted to help the little beast and the other two. At this moment, the sound of a bugle horn came from the horizon. The sound of the bugle horn reverberated through the whole area. The people in the sky looked at the person holding the bugle horn. It was a rogue immortal. After blowing the horn, he said in a loud voice, "Cultivators of the mortal fate star, listen to my command. 30 years ago, the mortal fate star was sacrificed to the Juqian. In the same year, the Black Absolute God arrived and killed the 7 emperors and slaughtered all living beings. 30 years ago, we worked hard, but we were no match for the Black Absolute Army. The mortal fate star is in danger. Today, a powerful figure has come to the world to help us kill demons. This is a God-given opportunity. If we stand by and do nothing, we will regret it when the world is destroyed. All cultivators, listen to my command. Although I am weak, I don't want to resign myself to fate. Everyone, help the young man and the 2 beasts to resist the Black Absolute Army." As soon as he finished speaking, dazzling sword shadows fell from the sky like a meteor shower. At this moment, the sky was dyed with 7 colors. The army of cultivators descended from the sky and rushed toward the Black Absolute Army to join the battle with the little beast and the other 2. Seeing this, Lu Chen's heart skipped a beat. He asked them not to come down, but they still came down. Although most of them had low cultivation, when it came to the survival of the planet, there was no more deception or cowardice. There was only one thought in everyone's mind. Even if they had to die, they had to protect their home. Along the way, Hong, 5-planet, Technology Planet, and Mortal Fate Star, no matter how weak or strong they were, no matter how difficult the situation was, there was one thing that was the same. None of them had completely given up their last belief. The belief to live, the belief to protect their family, the belief to protect their home. Although I am weak, I don't want to resign myself to fate. At this moment, Lu Chun suddenly realized that he did not only obtain beast cores in the myriad world maze. There's one more thing. Although I am weak, I don't want to resign myself to fate. Lu Chun shouted in a low voice, then stared at Wu Jiqi. "I will help you." Chapter 1236. If you know you're weak, then accept your fate. Wu Jiqi roared. "The weak don't deserve to exist in this world. Kid, no matter who you are, if you dare to stop me from destroying this world, you will die." Immortal technique. Heavenly water, water ghost possession. Wu Jiqi roared. Suddenly, a black ghost hand appeared in the air in front of Lu Chun and grabbed at Lu Chen's eyes. Lu Chun quickly dodged and turned around to stab the ghost hand with Shatterstar. However, the ghost hand only turned into water droplets. However, before Lu Chun could catch his breath, a large number of ghost hands appeared around him again. Lu Chun quickly opened up the distance between him and the triple door. However, no matter where he ran, ghost hands would appear around him and try to stop Lu Chun. Damn it, what kind of skill is this? Lu Chen's eyes widened. He had encountered skills that could catch up to him while he was moving. However, this water ghost possession did not rely on speed at all. As long as he stopped for a moment, ghost hands would immediately appear around him. Although these ghost hands were not impossible to dodge, Lu Chun was still annoyed. Kit, you must feel bad. Wu Zhiqi sneered. This is just the beginning. Since you're not an immortal, then you're immortal. Since you're immortal, how can you fight me? Wu Zhiqi grinned. The show is just beginning. This skill, as long as you're immortal, no matter how strong you are, you will definitely die. Immortal's secret technique, water essence, extraction. Lu Chen did not have time to attack, but Wu Zhiqi had plenty of time. After water ghost possession, Wu Zhiqi attacked again. Secret technique. In the past, Lu Chun had heard that secret techniques were the strongest techniques of the same level. And this time, what Wu Zhiqi used was a secret technique of the immortal technique. Lu Chun had not sensed Wu Zhiqi's attack when he suddenly felt intense pain all over his body. He could only watch helplessly as his right arm shriveled up. Lu Chen's mind went blank for a fraction of a second. Why had his arm shriveled up? That guy was several hundred meters away from him, yet he was able to inflict such terrible damage to his body, and he was unable to block it at all. How could this be? Lu Chen quickly thought of a possibility. That guy had directly sucked all the water out of his body. Lu Chen had seen people controlling water before, but Lu Chen had never heard of anyone controlling water to such an extent. Lu Chen's body was quickly becoming wretched. Even a dragon god form could not protect him. The only thing that was not affected was his left arm. If this continued, Lu Chen was afraid that he would directly become a dry corpse. Everything had spiritual energy. All cultivation techniques relied on spiritual energy to activate. Lu Chen quickly calmed himself down. Divine demon heavenly eyes. Through spiritual observation, Lu Chen could see traces of spiritual energy being extracted from his body, fusing with the surrounding air. The so-called extraction was to use the surrounding water vapor as a medium to activate the spiritual energy, extracting the water out of his body. Lu Chen could not transmit spiritual energy through water vapor. After all, he had never learned how to control water, so his affinity with the water element should be zero. But Lu Chen had the fire element. Thinking of this, Lu Chen quickly ignited the void, god-destroying spear and shouted, "Insignificant skill! How dare you call it an immortal technique?" Spear Wei. Earth Fire Thousand Army Destruction. Lu Chen crazily attacked the surrounding ghost hands. Under the extremely high temperature, the surrounding water vapor directly evaporated. Without water vapor, Wu Zhiqi had no remote medium and could not conduct the extracted spiritual energy. Finally, Lu Chen stopped the loss of water from his body, but his right arm was still in a shriveled state. If he did not quickly end the battle, his right arm would probably be crippled. Emptiness of God's and Demon's arm, Lu Chen shouted, and his left arm quickly demonized. Void attack, immortal technique, rapid shadow spear. After saying this, Lu Chen merged with the spear, and together they turned into a ray of black light, shooting towards Wu Zhiqi. With 5 more spears, the rapid shadow spear speed was so fast that it could not be seen. In a flash, it was in front of Wu Zhiqi. Immortal technique, water moon mirror flower. Wu Zhiqi's arms drew a circular pattern in front of him, and then a circular water shield was formed in front of him. Within the water shield, water flowed rapidly, and the range of the water shield became larger and larger. Lu Chen did not care about this, and directly stabbed with his spear. However, although this spear broke the water shield, The strange thing was Lu Chun actually missed. His whole body directly passed by Wu Zhiqi and crashed into the mountain range in the distance. With a loud rumble, the mountain that the locals called the Immortal Dust Mountain directly disintegrated. Not long after, Lu Chun returned, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. Over the years, Lu Chun had experienced countless battles. He was still confident in his own moves. Under normal circumstances, it was impossible for him to miss his target. However, he was sure that he could hit Wu Zhiqi, but the result was so much off. The rapid shadow spear was strong, but if he missed, how could he unleash its full power? Ha, what? I'm standing here and stabbing at you, and you're able to stab me sideways? Wu Zhiqi laughed loudly. Lu Chun was speechless, which was a rare occurrence. Such a big target, and his opponent did not even move, but he missed. He could not figure it out himself. It must be the water moon mirror flower. At that time, the water moon mirror flower was completely between me and Wu Zhiqi. I judged Wu Zhiqi's position through the water shield, and that's why I missed? Wait, that's not right. I clearly felt the position of his spiritual energy. My spiritual energy is at the level of detail, and I can't be wrong. Lu Chun also had the heavenly demon eyes, so the chances of him seeing wrong were almost zero. Before he figured this out, Lu Chun did not dare to use the Heaven's Fury Spear recklessly. Once he used it, if he could not kill Wu Zhiqi, he would not be able to win even if he did not lose. Mortals are mortals, and with my strength, even true immortals can't do anything to me. What do you have to fight me? Wu Zhiqi roared. Next, I will show you the difference between you and me. Today, the people of this world have come to seek death, saving me the effort of killing them one by one. All of you go to hell. Ha ha! Fight the heavens? What right do you have? Immortal technique. Heavenly water. Heavenly Milky Way. The sky suddenly began to darken. Some people raised their heads and looked up. They couldn't help but open their mouths in shock and horror. At this moment, in the sky, floating, that person did not know how to describe it, but it could be said that it was a floating ocean. Endless heavenly water covered the entire sky, stretching for thousands of miles. How many cubic meters of water were there? And where the water came from, no one could say for sure. But this was not the main point. The main point was that this should be Wu Zhiqi's killer move, Heavenly Milky Way. Fall for me. Wu Zhiqi roared. Endless heavenly water came crashing down from the sky. Lu Chun was stunned. Was this the strength of a true immortal? Wasn't this too exaggerated? At this moment, Lu Chun heard a voice anxiously shouting at him. Idiot, this is heavenly water. You have already experienced it. You will be injured if you touch it. Not to mention such a terrifying pressure. There is no way to avoid it. Run. Use the teleportation talisman I gave you. Lu Chun turned around and saw Ling Long baring her fangs and claws at him, not caring about her image as a true immortal. Don't think that I will recognize you as my master. Chapter 12:37. If I leave, what will happen to them? You are just irrelevant people. They will all be destroyed in the end. You can't save everyone. Ling Long shouted. Take your battle pet and leave. Every time I see these people, I can't help but think of my world. Lu Chun narrowed his eyes and looked at the sky, water pouring down from the sky. If it wasn't for me, Lu, Yi, and Zhu, Yi would be waiting for their deaths. If it wasn't for me, the billions of people on Earth would all be sacrificed in this game. Please don't care about them. How are you going to block this skill? The sky water of the firmament galaxy is gathered from the water sources of several planets. When it falls from the Jiutian, it can even penetrate the planet. You can't block it. Ling Long didn't know why she was so agitated and why she had to drag Lu Chun away. You can't save everyone, but since I saw it, I can't just leave. Lu Chun said coldly. Ling Long, go. After that, Lu Chun stopped listening to Ling Long's shouts. All around them were the wails of the cultivators. It's over, it's really over. When the 10 great martial emperors fought with Wu Zhiqi didn't even use such a terrifying skill. This time we are all gathered here. He took the opportunity to attack us. Those above the Master Cultivator level are all here. Once we die, the mortal destiny planet will not be able to hold on. No one had any hope anymore. Because in front of this skill, Wu Zhiqi really showed his strength that made people powerless to resist. But, except for one person, Lu Chun clenched the black spear in his hand. Sky Thief, I don't know if I can block this skill. Are you willing to fight with me? Blade Mountain Flame Sea, Sky Thief swears to follow you to death. Lu Chun nodded and suddenly activated his skill. Celestial Body, Void Attack, Void God Slaying Spear, Earthly Fire Heaven's Fury Spear. With a boom, a fire pillar with a diameter of 1,000 meters shot into the sky, breaking through the clouds and the water layer. Lu Chun was like a white-haired, golden-armored war god bathed in flames, standing upright with his spear in hand. Then, Lu Chun roared furiously, as if he was speaking to Lu Chun, to Wu Zhiqi, to the heavens, and to all those who were still resisting. Lu Chun said furiously, "Remember this. My life is in my own hands, not in the hands of the heavens. If you don't want to resign yourself to fate, then go against it." His body shook the heavens and the earth, and more importantly, it shook the hearts of everyone. Everyone's eyes were focused on the man in the fire. Suddenly, Lu Chun charged into the sky. In an instant, heaven and earth's spiritual energy shook. One man, one spear, a tiny black shadow against the sky that was pouring down from the sky, defying the heavens. In the distance, the corners of Tianrui's eyes twitched, and his body and mind trembled. He suddenly remembered that Nameless had said that he was not an immortal. Now he completely believed it. The path of defying the heavens cannot be deduced. Nameless is a human, not an immortal. His mortal body can resist the might of the heavens. In the sky, the heaven's fury spear collided with the Milky Way. A ring of fire instantly exploded in the sky, sweeping across thousands of miles. Then, heaven and earth shook, as if the heavens and earth were about to collapse. The mountains crumbled, rocks rolled, and the wind howled. Whether it was a human, a black ape, or even an immortal, they were all swept away. The ground cracked, and the immortal dust river surged violently, almost rippling out of the riverbed. Oh my God! Is the sky collapsing? Did he block the Milky Way? I can't believe he's only a human emperor. Only? Human emperor is already very high. Okay? No, that's for you and me. But for Nameless, he can't be a human emperor. Ling Long did not leave. Her bright eyes were already wide open as she looked at the sky in shock. The spiritual energy confrontation between the two sides was still going on. The endless heavenly water crazily pressed against the little black, but Nameless did not give an inch. One man and one spear resisting the Milky Way. There was no need to think about how much spiritual energy the body would have to endure if it was Nameless' position at this time. From afar, one could see that the guy's eyes were about to pop out. He was already at his limit, resisting the Milky Way. Suddenly, Nameless spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. The dragon scales on his body flipped crazily, and even the scales fell off directly. Even his body was pressed down by more than 10 meters. The dragon scales and the dragon god state were a part of Lu Chen's body. If they could fall off like this, it was equivalent to a broken arm or a broken limb. Lu Chun was already seriously injured. However, he quickly reorganized his state and firmly held the line of defense, not letting the Milky Way take another step forward. Unconsciously, Ling Long found that the corners of her eyes were a little wet. She gently wiped them with her hand and found that they were her tears. Tears. That was impossible. She was already a 9 tribulation true immortal. Even if her Taoist heart was sometimes moved, she would never cry. Nameless, they had only met twice, and they were just traveling together in a hurry. Why would she cry? Why would a true immortal cry for a mortal? Ling Long's mind was in a mess. She couldn't wait to practice the ice heart technique now. However, this was a critical moment in the battle, and she didn't have time to deal with these things. Nameless, can you win? At this moment, Lu Chun shouted angrily, "War Soul, help me!" Lu Chun couldn't hold on anymore. This was the first time that Lu Qian had summoned a war soul to help him at the seventh heaven. It was obvious that he had reached his limit at this time. A person who looked exactly like Lu Qian quickly appeared beside him. After activating the war soul, he used the heaven-breaking sword technique to fight against the Milky Way with Lu Qian. But even so, no matter how much blood was flowing out of Lu Qian's mouth, he couldn't stop it. He was still suppressed bit by bit. Seeing this scene, a person on the ground shouted angrily, "Damn it, how dare you hurt my dad? Damn monkey, wait for me. I'll teach you a lesson later. Dad, I'm coming." Little Beast was furious, but the most important thing was to save its dad. Featherball and Originator also flew up into the sky, heading toward the firmament and the Milky Way. Tianrui said in a trembling voice, "How can the mortal fate planet deserve your help?" "Nameless, I'll do it." "Me too." Zhuxiu and Chengyan followed closely behind and rushed over. "Sir, you have a heart for the common people." "I, Nank, don't respect immortals and Buddhas. I only respect you." "Nank is willing to do my best." Ling Yun, a mere earth cultivator, is willing to help Sir Nameless. So what if the Milky Way falls on the Jiutian? It can't extinguish the passion of men like us. Let's do it too. For a moment, countless figures, regardless of their cultivation, rushed to the sky as if it was the opposite of the millions of cultivators who fell to the ground at that time. Together, they ruled the Milky Way and heavenly water. Although Lu Qian didn't mention the power of gods and demons, there were more than 1,000,000 cultivators here, including 3 true immortals and more than 20 itinerant immortals. In this way, it was equivalent to an increase of tens of millions of attributes. With the help of these people, the endless Milky Way and heavenly water evaporated layer by layer under the burning of Lu Qian's earth fire until there was nothing left. Although the Milky Way had blocked the attack, many people fell from the sky. However, Lu Qian didn't notice that a pale yellow figure raised his hand and condensed thin layers of ice to help the injured people from falling and prevent them from getting hurt again. The 3 true immortals and 27 itinerant immortals were also seriously injured and gasping for breath. Lu Qian himself had lost most of his dragon scales, and his mouth was full of blood. He looked like a lamp that was about to run out of oil. Waziki squinted his eyes and said, "You blocked the Milky Way. I really didn't expect it." "Kid, what's your name?" Lu Qian raised his head slightly and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. He said coldly, "Remember, my name is Nameless." Suddenly, Lu Qian dashed out. He became one with his spear and shot straight at Wu Zhiqi. Void attack, void god-destroying spear, rapid shadow spear. In an instant, Lu Qian had shot 5 more times. Chapter 1238. Wu Zhiqi sneered. "Again? Are you still struggling on your deathbed? Why are there only 5 shots left? Looks like you can't continue anymore. Too bad. Your last stand is just a joke to me. You can't break my water moon mirror flower. Your rapid shadow spear is useless against me." Lu Qian ignored him and dashed towards the giant water screen. The moment Lu Qian broke through the water screen, Lu Qian roared, "Great Ravager's Sweep." Back then, Lu Qian had extracted some low-level skills, including the Great Ravager Sweep. However, the skills level was very low, and the spear chi moved very slowly. For his current opponent, dodging it was easy. "Who do you think I am? Using such a trashy skill?" Wu Zhiqi snorted. Just as he dodged the spear chi, he was shocked. Not good. The Great Ravager Sweep's level was indeed too low, but its consumption was also very low. Lu Qian could use it at the same time as the Rapid Shadow Spear. Most importantly, it was an area of effect attack. Even if there was a deviation, as it was an area of effect attack, there was a high chance that it would hit Wu Zhiqi's real body. And Wu Zhiqi had moved his real body to dodge the attack. "I want you to dodge." Lu Qian quickly located Wu Zhiqi's position. With a roar, he chased after Wu Zhiqi with the Rapid Shadow Spear's 6th shot. With a loud bang, a wave of spiritual energy exploded from 100 meters in the air. This time, Lu Qian's Rapid Shadow Spear hit Wu Zhiqi squarely. The sixth shot of the rapid shadow spear was extremely fast and powerful. The fourth shot of the rapid shadow spear was something that even the reverse soul roaming dragon could not block. Even Wu Jiqi would not be able to face such a terrifying attack head-on. A burst of spiritual energy exploded from Wu Jiqi's body. Lu Chun directly pierced through Wu Jiqi's chest with his spear. This. Wu Jiqi looked at the big hole in his chest. A large amount of lava was spreading in his organs and devouring his flesh. Behind him, Lu Chen's body swayed. He spat out mouthfuls of blood. Using the god-slaying spear to support himself, he slowly turned around and looked at Wu Jiqi coldly. Wu Jiqi had not fallen yet. He could not fall first. The lava swallowed Wu Jiqi's body. It turned around and looked at Lu Chen. Heaven wants Earth Destiny Star to die. I am following Heaven's will. But you dare to go against Heaven's will. Nameless, you will be punished by the heavens. Lu Chen snorted coldly. If they want to be punished by the heavens, then please come earlier. At this moment, the little beast pierced through Wu Jiqi's head and took out a blue beast core. With the beast core taken away, Wu Jiqi's huge body finally fell to the ground. Just as the little beast was about to pass the beast core to its father, Lu Chen's body went limp and he fell to the ground. That little beastie supported Lu Chen. When Lu Chen opened his eyes again, he found himself lying on the cold ground. There was a talisman formation drawn on the ground. Tianrui, Zuoxiu, Qingyun, the little beast, Harry Ball, Xiao Yuan, and a group of robo-mortals sat cross-legged on the formation core. They were injecting spiritual power into the formation, which flowed into Lu Chen's body continuously. What surprised Lu Chen was that he saw Ling Long among them. She was at the largest formation core, so the spiritual power she was injecting probably took up half of the formation's power. After a while, everyone finished injecting their spiritual power. Seeing that Lu Chen was awake, they hurried to Lu Chen's side. Mr. Nameless, are you feeling better? Before this, your spiritual power was empty and you were heavily injured. We don't have any immortal pills to heal you, so we could only use the spiritual conversion formation to help you recover, Tianrui said. Lu Chen sat up. I feel much better. Thank you. A smile finally appeared on everyone's face. Mr. Nameless, you're being too polite. We can't repay you for what you've done for Mortal Destiny Planet, Zuoxiu said emotionally. Lu Chen smiled. We're just taking what we need. You don't have to mind it so much. Besides, if it weren't for your help, I wouldn't have been able to stop the Firmament Galaxy. All right, about the exit, Tianrui hurriedly said. When you were unconscious for a month, I mobilized all the cultivators to recalculate the teleportation exits. Immortal Master Ling Long has checked all of them. Lu Chen looked at Ling Long in surprise. You checked all of them? Ling Long also looked a little weak, but she still glared at Lu Chen when she saw him. Of course. You said you were in a hurry, but you rested for a month. I had no choice but to go and check the exit first. Tianrui smiled. Actually, the spiritual conversion formation was set up by Immortal Master Ling Long. She spent a lot of spiritual power these days to check the exit. It was really tiring. Lu Chen looked up and down at Ling Long. Back then, when many cultivators fell from the sky, she was also the one who saved them. This woman has been replaced? If you keep looking, I'll gouge your eyes out, Ling Long said fiercely. Lu Chen smiled. Fortunately, she hasn't been replaced. All right, how are the black apes now? Lu Chen asked. Cheng Yun said, without the protection of the Black God's spiritual shield, we have the ability to resist the Black Apes' invasion. It's just that when we were fighting against the Firmament Galaxy, many of us suffered different degrees of injuries. We might need some time to recover before we launch an all-out attack. Lu Chen nodded. The Black Ape army didn't have spiritual shields, so they should be able to defeat them. Taking a deep breath, Lu Chen got up. If that's the case, then everyone, let's part ways here. Mr. Nameless, your injuries haven't healed. Are you leaving now? Tianyu and the others asked anxiously. Lu Chen nodded. I don't have much time left. I have the last coordinates of our world. If I can't return to the seventh heaven before the end of the protection period, my planet might. When these people heard this, their hearts tightened. The last coordinates. Mr. Nameless, forgive me for being presumptuous, but how many coordinates does your planet have? 20. The previous 19 have been taken by others. Lu Chen said truthfully. Anyway, to Lu Chen, Tian Rue and the others were not his enemies. After all, they didn't belong to the seventh heaven's main world and had no right to fight for the coordinates. 20. Then Mr. Nameless world is a technological world? Lu Chen nodded. The technological world has almost no resistance against the invasion, Zhuxiu frowned. Zhuxiu frowned. As a member of a world that had already been invaded, they were all too aware of the future fate of the Nameless world. At the same time, they also knew how heavy the burden on the shoulders of the Nameless world was. How long is the protection period? Tian Rue asked. About 20 months. We fell into the myriad world labyrinth. I don't know if we can make it back in time. Lu Chen sighed. This matter had always been a huge rock in his heart. Tian Rue frowned. Mr. Nameless, I saw your war soul use the sky-piercing sword move before. Its power is also very shocking, but you've never used it before. I don't know if it's your tactic, or, I've been in closed-door cultivation since I arrived at the seventh heaven. I don't have a channel to obtain spirit tablets, so I haven't withdrawn some cultivation methods and equipment. Spirit tablets? Tian Rue, Zhuxiu, and Qingyun looked at each other as if they had reached some kind of tacit understanding. The three of them took out their spirit tablets and gathered them in front of Tian Rue. Tian Rue handed the spirit tablets to Lu Chen. Mr. Nameless, here are 1,500 spirit tablets. The three of us don't need these anymore, so I'll give them to you. Chapter 1239. Who would have thought that our planet would become a part of the myriad world maze? Tian Rue sighed, then looked at Lu Chen. The three of us can't enter the seventh layer of heaven anymore, and we've already extracted what we needed, so we don't need any more pills. Please don't mind. Lu Chen blinked. Mind? Have any mind? He didn't stand on ceremony and directly took the spirit tablet. Many thanks. Mr. Nameless, since you're in a hurry, we won't keep you any longer. But if you have the chance to come again, we'll be your hosts. Oh, Qingyan, what are you saying? Do you want Mr. Nameless and Miss Ling Long to enter the myriad world maze again? Qingyan smiled awkwardly. Sorry, I said the wrong thing. It's just that after becoming an immortal, I haven't had the feeling of saying goodbye to friends for a long time. Lu Chen smiled. Not being an immortal wasn't a bad thing. At least these three were much cuter than the true immortals in the seventh layer of heaven. Lu Chen hadn't fully recovered, but he had to leave the myriad world star now. Sitting on the ice phoenix, Ling Long told Lu Chen about the exits she investigated. There's a total of 7 exits, and I'm leaning towards the Crescent Moon Valley's exit. Only this one has a stronger fluctuation of spiritual energy. I think it's the Shun Wu world. Lu Chen's eyes were full of doubt. Are you sure? Didn't we choose the technological world last time? We can't be so unlucky all the time. Trust me, if it's not the Shun Wu world, it's the Super Wu world. Lu Chen thought about it. No matter which exit they chose, the final result would be unknown, so he might as well listen to Ling Long. Okay. You're a top student. I'll listen to you. Let's go. Wait, Ling Long suddenly said. You should recover first before going. Why? If it's a Shenwu world, then we'll have to be careful. A starving camel is still bigger than a horse. We're not in good condition, so we'll go after we recover. Ling Long took out a pill and gave it to Lu Chen. This is a myriad spirit pill. It can quickly replenish spiritual energy. Lu Chen took the pill and scrutinized Ling Long. Hey, why do I feel like you're different from before? You saved those cultivators before? Don't tell me you still want me to recognize you as my master. Ling Long glared at Lu Chen and said angrily, No, you're mistaken. If you don't want to eat the pill, then get it back to me. Lu Chen hurriedly stuffed the pill into his mouth. Who said I'm not eating? After swallowing the pill, Ling Long glared at Lu Chen. Hurry up and absorb the pill. The effect of this pill is too strong. I didn't even dare to give it to you when you were unconscious. Lu Chen also felt that his lower abdomen was getting hotter and hotter, so he hurriedly sat down cross-legged to cultivate. An hour later, the two of them had more or less recovered and entered the Crescent Moon Valley's exit at the same time. As soon as Lu Chen opened his eyes, he saw a ferocious humanoid monster, panting in human clothing, making a low and hoarse cry, opening its rotten mouth to bite him. Damn! Zombie! Lu Chen widened his eyes and kicked it away. On the other side, Ling Long killed a large number of zombies with a sword aura. The two of them finally had a chance to catch their breath. This world was another technological world. Lu Chen turned his head and shook his head at Ling Long. Didn't you say that this world was either divine martial arts or super martial arts? My goodness, it's another technological world, and there's zombies. Ling Long's face turned green and white. I didn't know that following you would be so unlucky. This thing is so disgusting. Lu Chen shook his head. Did you locate the teleportation talisman? I think we'd better go back to Earth's Destiny Star and change the exit. That I didn't record. The other 6 exits of Earth's Destiny Star didn't have any reaction. I thought the worst of this exit should be a high martial arts world. Who knew? Lu Chen was shocked. Big sister, why are you so confident? If the myriad world maze could be found just by the fluctuation of spiritual power at the exit, wouldn't it be easy? You're the big sister. I'm the divine master. Why are you throwing a tantrum at me? The technological world is not dangerous for us. Isn't it easy to find an exit? It's such a big place. How are we going to find an exit if we don't ask the locals? There have to be living people, Ling Long said softly. Lu Chen shook his head. Damn it, all right. Next time, a top student like you should listen to me. I'm the divine master. Why should I listen to a mortal? Did you forget that when we made the bet, as long as I kill the black god, you have to listen to me? This didn't you forget? Lu Chen said snappily, previously when I saw you saving people, setting up a formation, and giving me pills, I originally wanted to forget about it. Who knew that you were so stupid? All right, I don't need you to listen to me all the time. Just follow me in the myriad world maze. Don't save the teleportation talisman for a critical moment. Even if there's a mark in Shenwu world, we can't be sure which exit it is. Of course, we have to save it for that moment. Just follow me. Why are you so fierce? If you're fierce to me again, I'll... Lu Chen shook his head. Perhaps this was the scariest part of the myriad world maze. You can never be sure what the next world is. The myriad world maze. This was a maze that could trap immortals. Thinking about how he was a little agitated just now, Lu Chen sighed. I wasn't fierce to you. Let's find the exit of this world first. I don't have much time left. Ling Long was still angry, but after hearing Lu Chen's words, she calmed down a little. Time is running out. This was the most Nameless had said in this period of time. He must be very anxious. Abandoned streets, broken cars, wandering zombies. This place was very much like the zombie world in sci-fi movies. These zombies were much faster and stronger than normal people, but they could not be compared to Lu Chen and Ling Long. They were not a threat to Lu Chen and Ling Long. In front of shop, Lu Chen found a few discarded newspapers. The black tide is coming. The Human Genetic Modification Project has been forced to start ahead of schedule. Only genetic modification can resist the black tide. Rumor has it that the genetic modification agent caused the user's personality to change greatly, causing unknown changes to the body. Professor Su, answering the reporter's questions about the genetic modification agent. The military developed a weapon of mass destruction. It has been proven unable to destroy the plasma shield of the black tide creatures. Currently, the military has not promised not to use nuclear weapons. Lu Chen frowned. Seems like these zombies might be caused by the genetic modification agent. I didn't expect that the black tide would not destroy White Wave Star, but the genetic modification agent would cause the extinction of humanity first. Lu Chen sighed. For this low martial world, perhaps this was the only path they could choose at that time. Chapter 1240. The situation in this world was worse than the previous technological world. Not only did they have to face the invasion of the black tide, But there were also problems with the genetic medicine that they were researching. It was hard to determine if there were still people alive in White Cloud Star. Even if there were, they must be hiding deeper than the survivors of the previous world. Not to mention the Black Tide. These zombies were far more powerful than ordinary people in terms of physical strength. They could pose a great threat to them. How are you going to get out? We can't even see a living person now. Ling Long asked. Lu Chen thought for a while and said, the people in this world don't dare to run around, but the so-called Black Tide might be able to find the exit easily. Let's find the place where the Black Tide gather. It's better than looking around aimlessly. Ling Long nodded. The Black Tide should be creatures similar to the Black Demons. The Black Demons surrounded the abandoned mine. It was obvious that they were not sure where the exit was. They would only guard nearby because they felt threatened. After deciding on the strategy, Lu Chen summoned Ten Wing and flew into the sky. There were few traces of the Black Tide in the city. However, they could see some black creatures outside the city. They feed on zombies. Ling Long felt disgusted. Lu Chen followed the scattered Black Tide figures and tracked them to a nest. He ordered Little Critter to clean up the nest and let Rhubarb search for it. Unfortunately, there were no results. At night, the two of them set up a bonfire in the forest. There were Black Tide in the forest, but there were no disgusting zombies. Therefore, they would rather camp in the wild. Lu Chen sat at the side and took out the spiritual tablets. He still had 1,700 spiritual tablets. He was thinking about extracting a divine demon equipment and some other skills. I can use the Heart Sutras now. Omniscient Eye, Great Void Arm, 7 transformations of Divine Demon, and 8th transformation of Divine Demon, Divine Demon Heaven's Might, Divine Demon Limitless Sword, and Divine Demon Lotus Heart. After thinking about it, Lu Chen extracted the Divine Demon Lotus Heart first. After extracting the Lotus Heart, he could use the Inner Demon and Sacred Lotus Sword Heart. After putting in 1,000 spiritual tablets, Lu Chen successfully extracted the Divine Demon Lotus Heart. Limitless Sword, just bear with it for now. Next time, when I gather 1,000, I will definitely mention you first. Lu Chen muttered. The 8 transformations of gods and devils required another 200 spirit tablets, which made Lu Chen's heart ache. The entire set only costs 1,000, and the 8th transformation costs 100. It's too dark. Lu Chen cursed. However, it was unknown if he could find the 9th transformation of the God Fiend. Helpless, he could only spend an extra 100 spirit tablets to extract the 8th transformation. There's still 600 left. Let's see if I can bring up raging flames burning the heavens and one sword piercing the heavens. Comparatively speaking, the sky-breaking sword should be cheaper. Lu Chen picked the sky-breaking sword first and directly asked for 300 spiritual tablets. After a bout of heartache, Lu Chen began to extract raging flames incinerate the heavens. He had invested all 312 spirit tablets, but it still hadn't come out. F***CK, what a huge loss. I haven't mentioned it yet. Lu Chen shook his head. Since he could not bring it up, Lu Chen had no choice but to put the matter aside. Were the changes in the 8 transformations of gods and devils? Now that Lu Chen's personal interface was gone and the cultivation technique description had been transferred to the scroll, Lu Chen used the firelight to check the effects of the 8th transformation of gods and devils. 8th transformation of gods and devils. Appearance changed and effects increased by 100%. The first effect shocked Lu Chen. Just by cultivating one more level, his symbiosis of gods and demon strength had doubled again. Divine Devil Astral Form upgraded to level 2 Astral Form. Effects increased by 100%. Duration extended to 60 seconds. Can be used twice at most. Can only be used once every 5 minutes. After that, can only be used once every 10 days. Level 2 Divine Devil Astral Form can lock on all celestial bodies below level 4. Level 1 Divine Devil Astral Form increased movement speed, senses, attack speed, and skill release speed by 400%. It cannot be locked on, but could lock on all celestial bodies below level 2. Duration, 8 seconds. Cooldown, 15 days. However, the level 2 divine devil astral forms effects were doubled. In other words, the increase was 10 times. At the same time, the duration was increased to 1 minute. It was even a reserved skill. On top of that, the level 2 divine devil astral form could lock on all celestial bodies below level 4. What a blatant sense of superiority, Lu Chan said excitedly. After obtaining the rank 2 divine demon star constitution, the number of attacks of Saint Lotus Sword Heart, Calamity of Divine Grace, and Purgatory of 10,000 demons have been increased by 3 times. The number of times they can be used has also been increased to 3 times. The divine devil astral form was strengthened in all aspects. Unfortunately, Lu Chun only had the Holy Lotus Sword Heart strengthened. Divine Calamity and 10,000 Demons Purgatory should be on the other 2 pieces of the Divine Devil Fate Defying set. As long as it's not on Skyless, Lu Chun mumbled. Activating the 2nd tier of the Divine Devil Fate Defying set's ultimate skill, Formless Sky. Formless Sky requires all 9 pieces of the Divine Devil Fate Defying set to be gathered. This was the last effect. As soon as Lu Chan saw this message, he immediately fell silent. The skills of the Divine Devil Fate Defying set were all-powerful. However, the other skills were attached to a piece of equipment. Only Formless Sky could be activated when all the pieces of the set were gathered. One could only imagine how powerful this skill was. There was a 2nd tier to this skill. What kind of power would that be? Lu Chun was also envious. However, the biggest problem now was not that he had not found the 9th transformation or the 8th piece of the Divine Devil Fate Defying set, but that everyone who knew about the Divine Devil Fate Defying set told him something. The Divine Devil Fate Defying set could not be gathered because Skyless Celestial and Demon did not exist. If it doesn't exist, then why is there a set of ultimate skills? Lu Chen frowned. At this moment, Ling Long walked to Lu Chen's side and sat down quietly. More than 1,000 spiritual tablets. You must have obtained quite a number of skills and equipment, right? No, only 2. Lu Chan shook his head. Ling Long nodded. Oh, right. Your Divine Devil Fate Defying set would require a terrifying amount of money. If you're willing to be my follower, I can give you 2,000 spiritual tablets. Lu Chen looked at this top student. In front of the bonfire, Ling Long was not as cold as she was during the day. It was as if a beautiful girl was sitting beside him. I won't acknowledge you as my master, Lu Chun said calmly. Ling Long smiled. I know, but I have to work hard. Who knows, you might change your mind one day. Ling Long, your family knows so many things. Then, Lu Chun suddenly looked at Ling Long. Do you know about Skyless Celestial and Demon? I know. It's a piece of equipment that doesn't exist. It's the ultimate problem of the Divine Devil Fate Defying set. Since ancient times, no one has obtained it. No, let alone obtained it. No one has even seen it. When Lu Chen heard this, he could not help but sigh. Ling Long had already said the answer, but it was still the same. Skyless Celestial and Demon did not exist. Fortunately, this was not the first time Lu Chun had heard of it. He was already immune to it, so he changed the topic. Hey, you have been in the 7th heaven for so long and often want to find followers. Have you seen a puppet master? It turns out that the boss of the 5th heaven forced himself to come to the 7th heaven in order to avoid me. Why are you looking for him? Speaking of the puppet master, Lu Chun felt like a fishbone was stuck in his throat. He said fiercely, to kill him, of course. No way. Then, your wish might be a little difficult. Ling Long frowned. She did not seem to be deliberately angering Lu Chun. Chapter 1241. You must be talking about Qianji. When he entered the 7th heaven as an itinerant celestial, he caused quite a commotion. With his strength, he should not be an itinerant celestial. Ling Long said, he is from the Mystic Spirit race and was recruited by the Mystic Spirit race's Celestial Prime. Why do you have a conflict with him? He almost killed me, Lu Chan said fiercely. Nameless, Mystic Spirit race's puppet masters are not to be trifled with. Even though he is an itinerant celestial, a puppet master's strength lies in his puppets. This is more important than a beast tamer or spirit controller. Beast tamers and spirit tamers control living creatures. You are too weak to control them. However, puppets are inanimate objects. As long as you have the ability to obtain a high-level puppet, you can use it no matter what level it was before. I heard that the Hong Yu Celestial Prime gave him a Sengoku-level puppet to recruit him. It caused quite a commotion. Moreover, if you want to harm Qianji, the Hong Yu Celestial Prime will definitely do something about it. Her 3 Sengoku-level gods of war are not to be trifled with. Lu Chun frowned. No wonder that kid was in such a hurry to come to the 7th heaven. He did not mind being an itinerant celestial, so he still had a backup plan. Not only that, he even went to the Hong Yu Celestial Prime. Qianji was good at scheming. Even when he was running for his life, he still planned every step of the way. This guy, he came to find someone to back him up. Lu Chun said fiercely. No matter who he found, I will take his life sooner or later. Lu Chun said coldly. Hey, Nameless, can you tell me what conflict you have with him? Ling Long looked at Lu Chun curiously. You don't want to practice the ice heart technique anymore? I don't want to practice it anymore. I will be angered to death by you if I practice it too much. I will practice it after we get out. Lu Chun couldn't help but smile and shake his head. In fact, Ling Long's current appearance was much cuter than before. All right, since we are on our way tomorrow, I will tell you about it. Occasionally, Ling Long's laughter could be heard from the forest. Lu Chen's misfortune was particularly amusing to her. This was the most harmonious chat they had ever had since they met. In the blink of an eye, another year and a half had passed. Lu Chun and Ling Long traversed through various worlds, searching for the exit to return to the 7th heaven world. They had been to various technological worlds. Some had just been invaded, some were on the verge of extinction, and some had already been abandoned. They had also been to various martial arts worlds. Low martial arts, middle martial arts, high martial arts, and even super martial arts. The situation in each world was different. Sometimes it would take them a few days to find a new exit. Sometimes they would travel to several worlds in a single day. However, there were very few god-level worlds in the Myriad World Maze. After repeated attempts, they had used up 14 blank transmission talismans. Lu Chen's All Things Bloodline had risen to the 5th level. However, they still did not leave the Myriad Worlds Maze. Countless alternate worlds formed a huge Myriad World Maze. Lu Chun and Ling Long even felt like they were lost in the maze. There was only 1 month left before Earth's final protection period. Lu Chun and Ling Long were transmitted from one world to a new one. At a glance, all they could see was a vast expanse of yellow sand. In the wind and sand, they could vaguely see the ruins of buildings buried in the sand. This was an extinct world. There was no life in it. Nameless. Ling Long looked worriedly at Lu Chun, who was silent. She knew how anxious Lu Chun was. Lu Chun was silent for a long time. Then he sighed. Ling Long, I'm sorry for venting my anger on you last time. Now I know that even if I use the transmission talisman, the result will be the same. Lu Chun took out a scroll. This was the last coordinate of Earth. Ling Long could clearly see Lu Chen's hand trembling. The last coordinate was in his hands. However, he had been trapped in the Myriad Worlds maze for 2 years. He was about to miss the final protection period. Nameless. Lu Chun took a deep breath and put away the scroll. Let's go. I won't give up until the last moment. After saying that, Lu Chun took a step forward and walked into the endless yellow sand. In the 9-star grotto heaven, Li Shang and the others were as anxious as ants on a hot pot. There's only 1 month left. The last month. Earth's protection period will end. When the time comes, others will challenge Lu Chun. If he doesn't accept the challenge, then Earth will be sacrificed. Jean Luan said anxiously. I know. However, the Myriad Worlds maze force field appeared in Changshu City. Who knows how many people have been pulled into the Myriad Worlds maze? Lu Chun must have been pulled into the maze as well. It's not that easy to get out of the Myriad Worlds maze. If it were any other time, going through the 3,000 worlds would not be a big deal. However now, Lu Chun is trapped in the maze. What should we do? Gu Yin slammed a stack of spirit tablets on the table. In the past 2 years, we have accumulated more than 400 spirit tablets in the herb garden. In the end, we have no place to use them. Li Shang sighed. No wonder Gu Yin was so angry. At this time, who could still sit still? Just when everyone was anxious and helpless, a loose immortal working in the herb garden suddenly came to the 9-star grotto heaven. Immortal Master Gu Yin, I have something to ask for an audience with you. Gu Yin was now the person in charge of the herb garden. Although he was not a real immortal, the other loose immortals called him Immortal Master. Gu Yin was in a bad mood. Unlike his usual self, he walked out impatiently. What's the matter? Immortal Master, I met 2 people yesterday, a man and a woman. They seem to have just arrived at the 7th layer of heaven. They asked me about solipsistic. Oh, about Chuner? Who are they? Gu Yin suddenly realized. They said that they were solipsistic's friends and students. At that time, I was careful. I was afraid that they were here to cause trouble, so I said that I had never heard of them. Then the man was surprised and said something like, the dean has been here for 6 years, and he hasn't caused any commotion? Isn't this abnormal? The loose immortal imitated a certain person's manner of speaking. Dean, are they loose immortals or real immortals? They are real immortals. Where are they now? I asked them to leave a sound transmission talisman, but I didn't bring them here. Gu Yin frowned and hurriedly said, and I know, don't mention this to anyone first. I will go back and discuss with Li Shang and the rest. That sound transmission talisman. Can you give it to me? You have taken good care of us these past 2 years. You promised to give us a share of the profits. This is something that we would never dare to think about in the past. I am very happy to be able to help. Don't worry, I will keep this a secret. This is the sound transmission talisman. And Ai Nong handed a sound transmission talisman to Gu Yin. After Gu Yin thanked him, he hurriedly turned around and discussed with Li Shang and the rest. Everyone knew that Lu Chun had founded an academy in the 6th layer of heaven. So when an Ai Nong imitated that person and said, Dean is so, everyone felt that that person was not lying. After some discussion, everyone decided to meet those 2 people. Li Shang said to the sound transmission talisman, Hello, I know solipsistic. Where are you now? Let's meet. Not long after, the sound transmission talisman responded. We are at a place called Kunlun City. Kunlun City. Li Shang looked at the few people. I will go with Jin Luan first. We will know if they are friends or foes after we try. Chapter 1242. Li Shang and Jin Luan made an appointment with the other party at Zhanyue restaurant. The 2 ordered 2 cups of Star Moon tea and waited for the other party. Not long after, a man and a woman came in from the door. The man was tall and handsome. The woman was dressed in black and had an outstanding appearance. The 2 looked around as if they were looking for someone. Li Shang gave Jin Luan a look. Jin Luan stepped forward and asked, May I ask if the 2 immortal lords are looking for someone? The man said, Yes, you are. The dean's friends? Jin Luan nodded. This way, please. The 2 groups quickly mentioned Lu Chun. Li Shang asked, May I ask what is the relationship between the 2 of you and the solipsistic school? I am his friend. My name is Jiao. The woman was actually Jiao of the Wood Manor. Oh, I am his student Yi Fan. The man said, Yi Fan? Hearing this name, Li Shang seemed to have an impression. Lu Chun once mentioned his proud disciple. Shouldn't you be the dean of the Divinity and Demon Academy? How come you came to the 7th layer of heaven so quickly? Yi Fan said, It's a long story. Originally, I wouldn't have gone through the tribulation so quickly, but after the dean went through the tribulation, several major events happened in the 6th layer of heaven. Oh, what happened? Jin Luan asked. The first thing was that the weather changed, the difficulty of the tribulation decreased, and the tribulation of the same level was the weakest in history. At that time, the experts of the tribulation realm said that this was a great opportunity that only appeared once in 1,000 years. Therefore, the number of people who went through the tribulation during this period was more than the previous 100 years combined. The power of the tribulation of the same level decreased. This, Li Shang was somewhat puzzled. We also don't know what happened. Some people speculated that the tribulation didn't have enough energy. but these are just guesses. In short, after the dean left, the first few people who went through the tribulation smoothly, and for a time, the sixth layer of heaven set off a frenzy of tribulation. The second thing is that the Celestial Emperor's summer realm in the Huantian Celestial Palace, the astral illusion formation in the Celestial Demon Academy, the ancient demonic blood prison in the Demon Blood Cave, and the Heavenly River Sword Lake in the Heavenly Sword Mysterious Land have refreshed their usage times. What's even more terrifying is that the spiritual energy in the four secret realms is endless. Yifan continued, the Academy believes that this rare heavenly phenomenon is a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence, and decided to let a few disciples of the Divine Devil Academy seize this opportunity. So they let me cultivate in the Star Sky Illusion Array for a year, which is equivalent to 30 years. In addition, after cultivating outside for a few years, I also reached the tribulation passing stage and challenged the heavenly tribulation. That's why I could reach the seventh layer of heaven in such a short time. Gioer added, that's true. A rare opportunity appeared in the sixth heaven. I entered the ancient demonic blood prison to cultivate for 3 years before transcending my tribulation in advance. Li Shang's eyes widened. I didn't think that after Lu Chen left, such a great opportunity would appear in the sixth heavenly layer. But before you transcended your tribulation, didn't you sever your mortal bonds? We rarely hear of people looking for someone after just arriving in the seventh heavenly layer. After all, your mortal bonds have already been severed. Since you're going to transcend your tribulation, the people and matters of the past are no longer important. Yi Fan said, the dean did not sever his mortal bonds before transcending his tribulation, so we divine devil people should naturally do the same. Zhou quietly said, he said that I have the right to choose. I once forgot about it, but this time I chose. I don't want to forget it again. Yi Fan secretly nodded from the side. He once again sighed with emotion at the dean's charms. He had already left for 6 years, but Zhou would rather cross her tribulation with his memories than choose to forget. Fortunately, the power of the heavenly tribulation this time was much weaker. We were able to resist it and successfully transcended it. Li Shang understood what had happened in the sixth heavenly layer recently. He couldn't help but sigh with emotion. Lu Chen's friends were definitely not simple. Although it was said that the heavenly tribulation was weakened, it couldn't be that much weaker. Moreover, to transcend the tribulation without severing one's mortal bonds, one would definitely not be able to do it without sufficient perseverance and an incomparably firm will. No matter what, it was now certain that these two people were indeed Lu Chen's friends. May I ask the two immortal masters, how many true immortals are you? Jin Wan suddenly asked. Both of us are 9 tribulations. Yi Fan had nothing to hide, so he directly said. Lu Chen hadn't become an immortal, but his disciples and friends were all 9 tribulations true immortals. Yi Fan and Zhou talked about their own situation, so Li Shang couldn't hide anything anymore. He told Yi Fan and Zhou about Lu Chen's current situation. I knew the dean wouldn't die so easily, but trapped in a myriad world maze? Yi Fan slammed the table and stood up abruptly. No, I have to save the dean. Immortal Master Yi Fan. Li Shang pulled Yi Fan back. The myriad world maze contains more than tens of thousands of worlds. Even an immortal supremacy would take a long time to come out after entering, let alone find someone inside. It's almost impossible. Jin Wan also said, we don't have to worry about the danger of the myriad world maze. The key is that we don't have much time now. The last coordinates of Earth were in Lu Chen's hands, and Lu Chen was trapped in the myriad world maze, unable to come out. That was the problem. Yi Fan calmed himself down and sat down. Zhou was silent for a moment, then said, Yi Fan, since Lu Chen is safe for the time being, why don't we help them think of a way to protect Earth's coordinates? You're willing to help us? Li Shang asked in surprise. Yi Fan said, the dean is my master. If it weren't for him, I would have died long ago. Now that the dean is in trouble, I, Yi Fan, will naturally risk my life to help him. Zhou looked ahead in a daze. Me too. But what about the coordinates of your world? Yi Fan said, our world is not in danger for the time being. My grandfather is in the seventh heaven. Your grandfather? Yi Fan nodded, a faint murderous intent in his eyes. My grandfather is immortal supremacy Ling Tian, Yi Shao. He has another name, Celestial Venerable Yi. Ling, immortal supremacy Ling Tian. Li Shang almost vomited blood on the spot. Celestial Venerable Yi, one of the three great immortal supremacies of the human race. He's your grandfather? Unexpectedly, Yi Fan's eyes burned with a strong, murderous intent. That's right. He was the one who massacred my lineage of a Yi clan, seized Celestial Emperor Ye's cultivation technique, and finally transcended the tribulation to become an immortal. What's going on? Gio was somewhat puzzled. Aren't you cultivating Celestial Emperor Ye's cultivation technique as well? Yi Fan let out a long breath. Celestial Emperor Ye's cultivation technique has a total of 9 levels. I only have 7 levels, so it's not complete. The 8th level is in Yi Zhao's hands, and the 9th level is missing. Yi Fan sighed and said, the planet's coordinates are related to the plundering of resources. Yi Xiao definitely won't miss it, so it's equivalent to him protecting our planet. But Senior Jiu'er, is there any problem on your side? Jiu'er said, previously, we want to check the planet's information. Although my world is dangerous, it still has over 20 years of protection. But Senior Li Shang, I need to go and get the coordinates first. With the coordinates in my hands, I feel more at ease. A protection period of over 20 years was actually very tight. No wonder Jiu'er had hurriedly left Luchun. If it weren't for the great change in the 6th heaven, Jiu'er's time would be even more tight. At this point, it was no longer the time to be polite. Yi Fan and Jiu'er were willing to help, so Li Shang and Jin Luan were more or less relieved. Chapter 1243. Yi Fan and Jiu'er first went to the Immortal Bestowment Platform to get the coordinates of their respective planets, and then followed Li Shang to the 9-star paradise. 2 immortal masters. Li Shang just started to speak when Yi Fan interrupted him. Senior Li Shang, between us there's no need to call you Immortal Master. This junior dares not accept it. Li Shang smiled. All right, then I won't call you that. It's like this. What we need to think about now is if Lu Chun is unable to rush back in time, how to protect Earth's coordinates. Now the only way we can think of is for you to snatch Earth's coordinates from other people and then give them to us. Although this is only a stopgap measure, we can only hold on for as long as we can. Yi Fan nodded. After all, they are not Earthlings, so it is useless for them to snatch the coordinates. The coordinates must be in the hands of the Earthlings themselves. Jiu'er frowned. It's just that, if we give you the coordinates, I'm afraid other people will come and snatch your coordinates. When we came to the 7th layer of heaven, we received a notification. The Immortal War is the event with the highest number of immortals dying in the 7th layer of heaven. The Immortal War has no rules. Yi Fan also thought of this point. Li Shang and the rest are loose immortals, and their strength is very weak. They forcefully passed the tribulation. If an accident happens in the Immortal War, they will die. Back then, there were 19 loose immortals guarding 19 coordinates on Earth, and 9 of them had already died. This kind of death rate is too terrifying. Li Shang smiled and turned around to take out an illusion map. Opening the illusion map, it actually shows a star field with a blue planet in the center. Looking from the starry sky, the blue planet slowly rotates. It is quiet and beautiful. The blue planet is so beautiful that it makes people wonder why there is such a beautiful planet in this cold universe. All the loose immortals on Earth can't help but stare blankly at this illusion map. This is our planet. Its name is Earth, Li Shang said faintly. Ever since we passed the tribulation, we never went back. Now that we see it, we suddenly realize that we really miss our home. When we got the coordinates, we swore to protect this planet. After saying this, Li Shang turned around and looked at Yi Fan and Jiu'er. Unfortunately, us old fellows really don't have any ability. Back then, after we got the coordinates, we were targeted by immortals from a high martial planet. They challenged 19 of us. We tried our best, but we could only watch as they took the coordinates away from us. Out of 19 people, 9 died in battle, but they didn't accomplish anything. At that time, we recognized the reality. In this world where the strong are respected and the weak are prey to the strong, we, the people at the bottom of the seventh heavens, can't protect anything. But luckily, we still have one last hope. Since we are still in the protection period, we can't snatch the last coordinate. What's more fortunate is that Lu Chun has grown up. His father had said that he would definitely guard this last coordinate. We have no doubts about this. If there's still hope, even if it's just the last sliver of hope, then so what if I die? At least our deaths have some meaning. That's enough. Jiao Er's eyes were wet as she looked at Li Shang and the rest with tears in her eyes. In short, it's not that they didn't know that this plan might lead to their deaths, but they were prepared to sacrifice themselves for this sliver of hope. According to the previous probability of 9 out of 19 people dying, every time someone challenges them, it means that they have almost a 50% chance of being killed. What's worse is that when others know that there are only 10 loose immortals on Earth, and that they're using this method to extend their lives, they may directly kill them. As long as these 10 loose immortals are all killed, then even if Yi Fan and Jiao snatch the coordinates again, because there is no target to give, Earth will be sacrificed. In this way, the probability of them being killed is far more than 50%. Suddenly, Li Shang and the rest knelt down in front of Yi Fan and Jiao. Li Shang said with tears in his eyes, "Our deaths are not regrettable. We only ask that the two of you do your best to take back the coordinates of Earth." Yi Fan and Jiao hurried over and helped everyone up one by one. Yi Fan narrowed his eyes slightly. He can't completely help the dean with this matter. He can only try his best to fight for the coordinates. He said with a trembling voice, "Seniors, there is no need to be so courteous. I, Yi Fan, am ashamed that I can't share the dean's burden, but I will do my best to fight for more coordinates." Jiao Er's eyes were red. "Lu Chen's home is our home. Please rest assured, Yi Fan and I will do our best." Li Shang cupped his fists in gratitude. There was still half a year before Earth's protection period. During this time, Li Shang and the rest gave all the spirit tablets to Jiao and Yi Fan. At the same time, Jiao and Yi Fan also distributed the True Immortals Cave and Herb Garden to exchange for spirit tablets and equipment. Everyone was preparing for the final battle in half a year. 5.5 months later, there was only half a month left before Earth's protection period. Lu Chun and Ling Long came to a technological world. When he saw the world in front of him, Lu Chun couldn't help but take a few steps back. Nameless. Ling Long supported Lu Chun and looked at him worriedly. Even during the battle with the primordial tree, Lu Chun wasn't so weak. Lu Chun sat on the ground weakly, lowered his head, and muttered, "This is already the 500th world. 500 worlds, and I still haven't found the exit. This damn myriad world maze. Is there a F***king exit?" Lu Chun roared and punched the ground, creating a big hole. In 2 years, Lu Chun had passed through 500 worlds. He never stopped, but this time, he was on the verge of collapse. Ling Long was also upset. The closer it was to the end of the protection period, the more irritable John Doe became. She could understand Lu Chen's feelings at this time. His world was about to be sacrificed. It might not matter to others, but to Lu Chun, it was tantamount to the collapse of the sky and the earth. A few seconds later, Lu Chun stood up abruptly. "Ling Long, let's go. I can't stop here. I won't give up until the last moment." Ling Long did not follow Lu Chun directly. She just stared at Lu Chen's back in a daze. Countless blows still couldn't break his faith. There was still something supporting him to continue moving forward. Half a month later, today was the last day of Earth's protection period. Lu Chun and Ling Long passed through a portal and stood in front of a technological world that was dead silent. There had just been a large-scale massacre. Human corpses were everywhere, and corpses were everywhere. Buildings were tilted, houses collapsed, and the surroundings were a mess. It was like the end of the world. It was ironic that on their last stop, they still came to an extinct technological world. It was as if they were deliberately showing Liu Chen what Earth would look like in the near future. Chapter 1244. It was the last day of the protection period for Earth's coordinates, but Liu Chen was still in a technological world. Even Liu Chen, who had never given up, felt physically and mentally exhausted at this moment. He looked at this unfamiliar world with a dazed expression. He asked expressionlessly, "Ling Long, am I already too late?" Ling Long did not know what to say. There was no time. Not only was there no time, but they had not even found the way and were still lost in the myriad world maze. Nameless, you've done your best. No one can guarantee that everything will be done flawlessly. Everyone will have their own regrets. What's the use of trying my best? I still couldn't guard Earth's last coordinate, Liu Chen said as he walked forward in a daze. Where are you going? Ling Long hurriedly chased after him. Liu Chen's current state was not right. Liu Chen did not say anything and just walked along the bloodstains. Liu Chen did not say anything, so Ling Long could only follow behind him silently. At the seventh heaven, all the planet inquiry devices in the human race's immortal realm displayed a red alert at the same time. Earth protection period had expired. At the same time, Earth's basic information was displayed. Red alert. Earth, 20 coordinates. 20 coordinates have been claimed. Remaining coordinates. 1. This planet's protection period has expired. In every city in the immortal realm, the inquiry devices were usually the most crowded places. At this time, everyone was attracted by this eye-catching warning message. The protection period of a planet has expired. 20 coordinates. It's a technological world. It's not interesting. The technological world also has resources. Although the development of spiritual power in the technological world is often destroyed beyond recognition, there are still some usable spiritual power resources. This is easy to get. There's only one coordinate left. As long as we get this coordinate, we can get the resources. Soon, another row of information appeared on the inquiry device. Information of the owner of the remaining coordinates: solipsistic immortal level, none, cave abode, none, immortal battle record, 0 battles, 0 wins. Not even immortal level? So it's a rogue immortal. Wouldn't I be giving away resources for free? A man walked up to the inquiry device and inserted his information card. Challenge solipsistic. The challenge has been accepted. There are currently 168 challengers. The order is based on the time of application. If the challenge fails, the challengers will continue to challenge. If the challenge succeeds, the order will be invalid. 168 challengers. So many people wanted to take advantage of the situation. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have challenged him. Even if I had queued up, it would have been a waste. When the others saw this, some of them were originally eager to give it a try, but they immediately dismissed the idea. There were 168 people waiting to challenge him. How long he had to wait was a small problem. The key was that there was no chance for him to get his turn. In my opinion, what's the point of challenging such a trashy planet? We should just sacrifice it. That's true. The last set of coordinates is held by someone who hasn't even opened the immortal path and hasn't even reached the immortal realm. Isn't this a waste of time? Just as the people of various cities were idly discussing this planet that was about to be sacrificed, 2 more lines of words suddenly appeared on the query device. Information changed. Currently, there are only 3 Earth coordinates left. Then, below the solipsistic information, 2 more lines of information appeared. Flying General, Immortal Realm. None. Cave Abode. 9 stars Grotto Heaven. Asterisk low-level cave abode. Immortal War Record. 3 battles, 3 losses. Bright Lamp, Immortal Realm. None. Cave Abode. 9 stars Grotto Heaven. Asterisk low-level cave abode. Immortal War Record. 2 battles, 2 losses. Some people who had already stopped paying attention to the information on Earth were suddenly attracted by these 2 new pieces of information. What's going on? Are they all itinerant immortals? Did they snatch the coordinates from the true immortals? It shouldn't be. The Immortal War Record is very clear. They have never won the Immortal War. Naturally, they couldn't have snatched the coordinates back by themselves. Their immortal master should have helped them. Which immortal master would be so stupid to help these people? They are too weak, and Earth's protection period has expired. The coordinates in their hands will be taken away very soon. When that time comes, I want to see if their immortal master will continue to help them. New information appeared on the query device again. It seemed like there was a lot of information about Earth. Solipsistic cultivator who has not issued a challenge within 20 minutes will be deemed to have forfeited the immortal war. The coordinates will be transferred to the first challenger. Earth's remaining coordinates. 2. After that, the information about Earth's coordinates would be refreshed every once in a while. Flying General, 54 challengers. Remaining time to answer, 18 minutes, 47 seconds. Bright Lamp, 62 challengers. Remaining time to answer, 2 minutes, 12 seconds. Bright Lamp accepts the challenge of the 100 Source True Immortal. Location, Kunlun Immortal Battleground. Information changed. New coordinates, Huahun, Immortal Realm. None, Cave Abode. 9 stars Grotto Heaven, ***, low-level Cave Abode. Immortal War Record. 2 battles, 2 losses. Current total coordinates on Earth, 3. Information changed. Bright Lamp's coordinates have been seized. Current total coordinates on Earth, 2. At the same time, Bright Lamp's personal information was deleted from the table. Information changed. New coordinates, Wentian, Immortal Realm. None, Cave Abode. 9 stars Grotto Heaven, ***, low-level Cave Abode. Immortal War Record. 3 battles, 3 losses. Current total coordinates on Earth, 3. These messages were refreshed every few minutes. Everyone was baffled by what they saw. What's going on? Are these itinerant immortals crazy? Who on Earth is helping them? There must be something wrong with that true immortal's brain. How many true immortals are helping them? This is the first time I've seen such a thing. Interesting. All their immortal battlegrounds are held in Kunlun City. I'll go and see what the hell is going on. It was too easy to teleport to the 7th heaven. A teleportation talisman could do it. At this time, more and more people were flocking to Kunlun City to see what was going on with their own eyes. Kunlun City Immortal Battleground. Yifan had just taken back a set of Earth's coordinates from a 5 Tribulation itinerant immortal and quickly handed it to Li Shang. True immortal Li Long was only a nameless character in the 7th heaven. Even so, his star level was 2 stars higher than Yifan's. Yifan had just entered the 7th heaven. Although he had opened the path of immortality, he was only a 1-star true immortal. Relying on Yifan's extremely strong fighting ability, after a fierce battle, he finally took back the Earth's coordinates. Senior Li Shang, I'll immediately challenge the next one. Lu Chun had just stood up when he suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. This was not Yifan's first battle. Although these Earth itinerant immortals waited until the last moment to accept the challenge and did their best to delay the time, Yifan and Zhou could not delay. Others had 20 minutes to accept the challenge. They must quickly take back more coordinates so that they would not run out of coordinates. However, Earth itinerant immortals might only take a few minutes to lose a match, but Yifan might take a long time to win a match. Because of this, Yifan did not dare to stop at all. In every immortal battle, he must defeat his opponent in the shortest time possible. Li Shang looked at Yifan, spitting out blood. His eyes widened. Yifan, Senior need not say any more. The Dean's home is Yifan's home. If it was him, he would also risk his life to protect it. There is not much time left. I'll immediately challenge the next person. Yifan hurriedly left. Not long after, Zhou also took back a set of coordinates and gave it to Li Shang. But Zhou's situation was worse than Yifan's. There was a long cut on her arm. Senior Li Shang, these are the coordinates. I'll go challenge the next one. Zhou hurriedly left. Li Shang was somewhat choked. These two people had already fought 3 times in a row. Their bodies were already injured, but they still did not give up. What made people depressed was that even though Li Shang's heart was filled with mixed feelings, he did not have time to think. Li Shang, Ming Deng, Fei Jiang are already seriously injured. Give me this set of coordinates. Gu Yin said. Give me the other one. Jin Luan checked Ming Deng and Fei Zhang's injuries and quickly walked over. Li Shang's hands trembled. These coordinates were not fighting for glory, but the ticket to hell. Chapter 1245. Lu Chun had realized that the coordinates of Earth in his backpack had disappeared. Since he had exceeded the battle time, he was considered to have forfeited, and the last coordinates in his hands were taken back. It's over. Lu Chun stood there shakily, as if he had lost his soul. Ling Long walked to Lu Chen's side. The coordinates, they're gone. Lu Chun closed his eyes slightly, and two streams of tears formed a line. Ling Long was also affected by Lu Chen's emotions, and her eyes were red. This man had never cried in front of her. Even a moment ago, he was still searching numbly. But now he finally broke down. A person who never gives up might not be able to change the outcome. Nameless. Ling Long did not know how to comfort Lu Chun and could only stand there with him. 10 minutes later, Ling Long could not bear it, but she still asked, Nameless, did you receive it? Receive what? Lu Chun asked weakly. I don't mean anything else. I just want you to confirm if you receive the news that your world has been sacrificed, Ling Long said. Ling Long said, if your world is sacrificed, everyone on this planet within the 7 heavens will receive the news in 10 minutes. The myriad world maze is a part of the 7th heaven, after all. You can receive it too. Lu Chen's eyes suddenly widened. I didn't receive it. You didn't receive it? Is there a turning point? Ling Long said excitedly. Lu Chen looked nervous and thought carefully. Impossible. There can't be a turning point. Li Shang and the others are not strong enough to take back Earth's coordinates, and the strongest of the other Earthlings is only at the 5th heaven. Could it be that they went to beg a true immortal? Ling Long asked. Lu Chen did not know. He had been lost in the myriad world maze for 2 years. How could he know what had happened in the 7th heaven main world? Nameless, no matter what, if you didn't receive the news, it means that Earth has not been sacrificed. We still have a chance. Ling Long pulled Lu Chen's arm. Lu Chen nodded blankly. Nameless, no matter what the reason is, you cannot give up now. Lu Chen nodded numbly. Of course, he did not want to give up. However, he was still in the myriad world maze and had not even found the exit of this world. I won't give up. Lu Yizhu, they're still on Earth. I can't give up. I can't watch them die. Lu Chun kept reminding himself. Suddenly, Lu Chun grabbed Ling Long's hand. Ling Long, is there any other way out of the myriad world maze? I don't care what method you use. Ling Long frowned. I would have told you if I knew. Nameless, calm down. Only then did Lu Chun loosen his grip, his mind whirling. Right below the cliff in front of them was the magical beast lair of this world. Looking over from here, they could see black magical beasts crawling out endlessly and then rushing in all directions. Staring blankly at the monsters, Lu Chun narrowed his eyes. No, I don't believe there's no other way out. In the past 2 years, Lu Chun had been in more than 500 worlds. Each world was invaded by magical beasts arranged according to the martial arts level of the world. These magical beasts were guaranteed to crush the current world. In the technological world, there were only some weak magical beasts that were massacred under the protection of the Soul Shield. In the martial arts world, there were powerful magical beasts like the Black Demon King, and the Black Demon God that were guaranteed to be stronger than the current world's strongest. In the martial arts world, there were terrifying existences like the Black God guarding it. There were no exceptions in the 500 worlds. These magical beasts were deliberately arranged. Lu Chun suddenly said, you mean these magical beasts? That's true, Ling Long said. Since it was arranged, where did these magical beasts come from? They couldn't have appeared out of thin air. Lu Chun looked at the magical beast lair. There are so many magical beasts, endless. Where do they all come from? Suddenly, Lu Chen's eyes lit up. Could there really be so many magical beasts in the lair? No matter how deep the lair was, it couldn't have produced so many magical beasts out of thin air. These magical beasts should have been sent over. And what could be connected to the 10,000 worlds and send these magical beasts to different worlds of different martial arts levels. It was the Great Mongol Tree. Only the Great Mongol Tree could send these magical beasts to so many different worlds. The Great Mongol Tree is connected to the 10,000 worlds. What sent these magical beasts to the various worlds is the root system of the Great Mongol Tree. And the root system of the Great Mongol Tree must be connected to the seven heavens' main world. Lu Chen's eyes widened. After saying that, he looked at Ling Long. Ling Long, I can't take you with me because I don't know where it leads. You are a true immortal, and your lifespan is not limited. You don't have to take the risk with me. Ling Long looked at Lu Chen in shock. What are you going to do? Lu Chen's eyes were like torches as he said in a deep voice, I have to go back. Even if it's the 10,000 tribulations hell, I have to give it a try. After saying that, Lu Chen rushed into the magical beast's lair in a flash and disappeared. The mountain breeze blew past, lifting Ling Long's long hair. She stared blankly at the magical beast's lair below the cliff, her heart suddenly empty. He left. Although he was right, Ling Long was a 9-tribulation true immortal. Not to mention 2 years. She could afford to waste 20 years or even 200 years. She didn't need to take the risk. However, when he abandoned her without hesitation, Ling Long still felt a sense of loss in her heart. After a long time, Ling Long shook her head and said faintly with reddened eyes, Ling Long, what's wrong with you? You didn't need to take the risk with him in the first place. After saying that, Ling Long sat down cross-legged and prepared to cultivate the ice heart technique. But after cultivating for a while, 2 streams of hot tears flowed down uncontrollably. In the magical beast lair, countless magical beasts attacked this intruder like seawater. Symbiosis of gods and demons. Dragon god form. Lu Chen activated his skill and transformed into a white-haired, golden-armored god of war. He roared, "Get lost!" It wasn't that these magical beasts were worth it, but that he had to race against time. Between them, a golden figure wrapped in raging flames drove straight in with irresistible force. It traversed thousands of miles and cut through all the thorns in its way to the Earth's core. Any magical beasts that got close to him were all burned to ashes. Great Mongol Tree, come out! Lu Chen roared, and spiritual power roared all over his body. Countless magical beasts, including the leader of this group of magical beasts, couldn't get close to Lu Chen at all. Half an hour later, Lu Chen had already drilled tens of thousands of meters into the ground. The Great Mongol Tree had said that its roots were rooted near the Earth's core. Perhaps he could find it there. Not long after, Lu Chen indeed got close to the Earth's core. Just beside the Earth's core, he saw an object wrapped in vines that looked like a heart. This thing was exactly the same as the branch of the Great Mongol Tree that Lu Chen had defeated on the 9th floor of the pagoda. Found it. Lu Chen widened his eyes. Come out. Otherwise, I'll destroy one of your branches whenever I go to a world. There are tens of thousands of worlds in the myriad world maze. If there's one, I'll destroy it. As soon as he finished speaking, the vines wriggled, and Lu Chen saw the beautiful face of a young girl. The young girl wasn't angry at all. She smiled at Lu Chen. It's been 2 years. You finally found me? Chapter 1246. Lu Chen's eyes were wide open as he stared at the girl's face. He lowered his voice and said fiercely, You heard what I said just now. Send me back to the 7th heaven now. Otherwise, even if you're rooted in the myriad worlds, I'll uproot you. The vines rolled, and the girl's complete body broke away from the dense vines. She walked slowly to Lu Chen. The girl frowned slightly and pretended to be surprised. I don't think you should be talking to me like this now. If you want to go back, shouldn't you be begging me? Lu Chen clenched his fists and stared at the girl. After a while, Lu Chen said, What do you want? The girl smiled. 23 months and 27 days. You've experienced 513 worlds. During this time, you've saved 74 worlds. If you didn't waste this time, you might have found me earlier. Lu Chen, I want to ask you, do you regret it? Lu Chen took a deep breath and calmed his emotions. Yes. If I walk again, I'll save them again. What I regret is that I didn't think of you earlier. You exist in every world. The girl looked at Lu Chun and frowned slightly. After experiencing so many worlds and seeing so many deaths, even if you didn't see through it, don't tell me you're not numb to it. Dust Fate Star, White Wave Star, Hong 5 Star, I can tell you clearly that those worlds have been massacred within a year after you left. The people you know are all dead. The green mist in Lu Chen's eyes rolled out uncontrollably. If she wasn't his only hope to go back, Lu Chun would have exploded. The young siblings, Tian Rue, Zuoxiu, Zhu Jin, they were all dead. Don't you understand? You can't save anyone. Seeing Lu Chen's furious eyes, the girl chuckled and looked away. You're looking at me so fiercely. It's quite scary. I have to explain that my interest is in reproduction, not destruction. These creatures are not under my command. I just exist in the myriad worlds. What people use me for, whether it's saving people or killing people, is not something I can control. Just like the god-slaying spear in your hand. You use it to kill people and save demons. That's your business, not the god-slaying spears. So don't blame this on me. I feel wronged. The girl looked at Lu Chun again. Lu Chun, you are different from the others in the 7th layer of heaven. After so many years, this is the first time I've seen a mortal rush up to the 7th layer of heaven. Immortals and devils are emotionless. What is love? They have 7 emotions and 6 desires. They pursue the heavenly Tao, and in the end, they merge with the heavenly Tao and return to the heavenly Tao. But you're different. Going from the 1st heaven to the 7th heaven didn't change you. The myriad world, maze, didn't change you. You are you. Mortal, there's something I'm interested in on you. Lu Chun wasn't in the mood to listen to the great Mongol tree. He said angrily, "What are you trying to say? Look at how anxious you are. Don't you know that I have the time-space? We're in the time-space now. It won't take up too much of your time." Lu Chun frowned. Even the time-space, he was anxious. He didn't know what was going on in the 7th layer of heaven. He didn't want to waste a second. Okay. You asked me what I want? Then I'll say it directly. The girl smiled. I want to make a deal with you. What kind of deal? I want to... The girl's eyes started to look a little strange. Reproduce. Lu Chun was originally very anxious. When he heard this unreasonable request, Lu Chun almost vomited blood at such an urgent moment. She wanted him to reproduce with a tree. What kind of weird request was this? Reproduce. You're not a human. Besides, I'm not in the mood. The girl covered her mouth and smiled. It seems that you're very shy. The reproduction I'm talking about is different from the mating you humans talk about. Of course, if you want to do it in that way, I can also satisfy you. As long as you want, I can also be a human. I could be any race you want. If you agree to my request, I'll send you back to the 7th layer of heaven. How about it? Lu Chun took a deep breath. Countless thoughts were in his mind. Then, he took off his coat and said, I only have one condition. Hurry up. I'm in a hurry. The girl smiled charmingly. Her whole body retreated into the heart chamber, and her body disintegrated into vines. Then, thousands of thin vines wrapped around Lu Chen's body and dragged him into the heart chamber. The vines wrapped around Lu Chen's limbs and body, making him unable to move. The fastest way will be a little painful. Don't resist. The girl's face appeared beside Lu Chen's ear and whispered. Then, thousands of vines directly pierced into the surface of Lu Chen's body. His whole body was stinging. Lu Chen shouted in a low voice, I'll go. This seems to be a bit different from the reproduction scene in Lu Chen's imagination. Those vines began to twitch Lu Chen's blood. The blood flowed along the vines into the heart chamber. In the center of the heart chamber, countless thin red vines were intertwined into a ball, seemingly forming some kind of strange shape. Not long after, Lu Chen saw that the vines were forming the shape of a human baby. It was becoming more and more concrete and more vivid. The girl's sharp screams sounded in his ears. It seemed that her pain was more severe than Lu Chen's. Half an hour. Lu Chen's blood was still slowly flowing to the baby. Didn't you say it would be fast? It's been half an hour. Lu Chen gritted his teeth and said. The girl's voice was a little weak. What other reproduction methods? Can you be faster than half an hour? Lu Chun was actually speechless. He looked sideways at the baby. At this time, it was exactly the same as a normal human baby, wrapped in a large number of vines. Finally, it slowly opened its eyes and opened its mouth to cry loudly. Lu Chun frowned. You can't be a clone. Cloning goes against the laws of heaven and earth. I'm talking about reproduction. It's just that the method isn't what you think. This child has fused with our genes. It's our real child. Although the girl had been transformed into vines and Lu Chun couldn't see her, her voice was always by Lu Chen's ear. The girl gasped for breath. I've seen countless people separated by life and death. I've also seen the sinister nature of human hearts. I know how fragile humans are. However, isn't it interesting? I'm a creature with unimaginable strength, but I desire to become a normal person. I don't have the chance, but our child can. My child is no longer a seed without consciousness. He can no longer be manipulated by others, no longer be a tool. He can have his own future. He can use his own hands to change his own destiny. At this time, the girl's voice was trembling. It was as if she was a real mother. When she saw her child with countless expectations, she was so emotional that tears streamed down her face. Lu Chun, I can't keep the child by my side. I'll send him to your sister and let her bring him back to the real world. Lu Chun was so shocked that he didn't speak. He had a son. He had a son with a tree. No one seemed to be able to accept this. Chapter 1247. Lu Chun would never have dreamed that his first time would be taken away by a tree, and in such a strange way. Speaking of which, could this be considered a first time? This was clearly taking the genes directly from his body. Child's father, let's give our child a name. The girl's voice became unusually gentle. Lu Chun was stunned for a while before he reacted. No matter what, this child was indeed his son. I mean, Lu Mu. That sounds a bit unpleasant. Lu Yao. Don't you want him to be free? Lu Yao. Okay, let's call him Lu Yao. Leave a keepsake for the child. I will entrust him to your sister. The vines on Lu Chen's body were finally removed. Lu Chun was in a daze until he saw the little life crying beside him. His crying expression was as if his eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. This was his son. Lu Chun carefully picked up the baby. Thinking about the things on him, he finally stuffed a photo into the little guy's hands. It was the family photo that Lu Chun brought back last time. Parents, Lu Chun, and Lu Yi's family photo. Lu Yi definitely wouldn't mistake this thing when she saw it. The girl transformed into her human form, walked out, and carefully took the child. In the girl's hands, the child miraculously stopped crying and peacefully leaned on the girl's chest. He wants to drink milk, Lu Chun said awkwardly. Do you still want to keep him by your side? Keep him by my side? Then he's even more unfortunate than me. He doesn't need milk. The girl raised her hand, and many vines extended from her heart and weaved into a suitable cradle. One of the vines extended into his mouth. Some white liquid poured into the vines, and the child used all his strength to lick. I'm Lu Yao's mother. How can I let him starve? Lu Chun, your all-creation bloodline has already reached the 2nd level, but you don't have time to improve it now. I'll send you back to the 7th heaven. Lu Chun nodded blankly. Right, I still have a friend outside. What? You already have me, and you're still thinking about other women? Between us, the girl smiled. I was just joking, but you took it seriously. All right, I will guide your friend away. Now, you can return to the 7th heaven. After saying that, his heart cavity opened, and a teleportation door appeared inside. Lu Chun walked in front of the teleportation gate. Coincidentally, Lu Yao was looking at Lu Chun and saying something. Lu Chun looked back at Lu Yao. Regardless of the manufacturing process, the result was that this child was his son. Is he leaving just like that? Lu Chun stopped in his tracks. You're sure you'll send him to Lu Yi? Why should I believe you? What? Are you afraid that I'll eat our child? Don't forget, he's not only your son, he's also my son. Hurry up and go back. If you don't hurry up, Earth will be sacrificed. Lu Chun was still worried, but the matter of the coordinates was too urgent. considering that the girl was right. He turned around and walked towards the portal. By the way, what's your name? Great Mongol Tree? No, I'm just a branch of it. If you really want to call me that, call me Mu Sheng. After Lu Chen heard this, he memorized the name and directly stepped into the portal. Not long after, Lu Chen walked out of the portal. At this moment, he was standing in the ruins of Changshu City. I'm back. Lu Chen's eyes widened. Oh no, where are they now? I don't have a teleportation talisman either. Lu Chen rushed to the West City. There was a planet's information retrieval device there, and there were many people gathered there. Lu Chen pushed through the crowd and saw the eye-catching information on the device. Information changed. The Golden Imperial Palace's coordinates have been stolen. Current Earth coordinates: 1. Lishang, immortal level. None, cave abode. 9-star grotto heaven. Asterisk, asterisk, low-level cave abode. Immortal battle record. 5 defeats in 5 battles. Lishang, 183 challengers. Remaining time to answer: 2 minutes, 47 seconds. That Yifan and Jiao won't be able to snatch it back this time. Someone said from the side. Those 2 immortals have fought 7 or 8 battles in a row. They are so seriously injured that they can't move. I don't understand why they insist on protecting this earth. It's useless. That Li Shang seems to be unable to hold on anymore. He almost died in the previous battle. This time, once he answers, the battle will be over in 10 seconds. Those 10 immortals from Earth took turns to fight. It seems that 6 or 7 of them died. A immortal said leisurely. Suddenly, a figure flashed in front of him and grabbed his collar. A pair of terrifying eyes appeared in front of that person. Where are they? What are you doing? Where are they? That person wanted to break free, but found that the spiritual power that erupted from this person's body was extremely terrifying. He was almost strangled to death. Where is Earth's immortal battle? Lu Chen squeezed out a few words from between his teeth. In Kunlun City. Take me there now. That person hurriedly took out a teleportation talisman and teleported with Lu Chen to Kunlun City. Kunlun City Immortal Battle Arena. Next to the first Immortal Battle Arena's grandstand, there were several people covered in cuts and bruises lying on the ground. Yifan, Jiao, Fei Jiang, Guyan, Ming Deng. It was unknown whether these people were dead or alive. Yifan supported his body and looked at the people beside him. Jiao was still breathing, but her spiritual power was exhausted. Coupled with the heavy injuries on her body, she had fainted. Jin Wan, who had just fought, had a big hole in his chest. They had used up all their pills and could only watch him die. Fei Jiang and Ming Deng had already lost their breath. It was unknown whether the remaining people were dead or alive. Li Shang's arms were cut off, and he was on the verge of death. However, at this time, there was no one else who could fight. This last coordinate could only be guarded by him. Senior Li Shang. Yes, cough, cough, cough. Sorry. Yifan's eyes were red. Li Shang looked at Yifan and then looked at his companions lying here. Tears streamed down his face. Yifan, you and Jiao have already done your best. Such a great kindness, unfortunately. We can only repay it in the next life. Old Li, can you let me see one more time? Jin Wan said weakly. Li Shang nodded and took out the illusion map. He opened the fantasy realm map. The blue planet was rotating peacefully. The other rogue cultivators on the verge of death struggled to open their eyes. Using their last bit of strength, they looked at the beautiful planet. Although she couldn't speak, the moment they saw their homeland, the pain on their bodies seemed to disappear at this moment. Sorry, we're too useless. We couldn't protect you well. Jin Wan painfully closed his eyes and let the tears fall. There was only 1 minute left before the final response time. Li Shang took out the last coordinate and slowly stood up. Even if we are defeated, we will defend to the end. Even if they want to take away Earth, they will have to step over my dead body. Senior Li Shang. Yifan's heart was in pain, and tears fell like rain. At this moment, the sky suddenly darkened, lightning flashed, and thunder rumbled. A loud shout directly covered the countless thunder and lightning. Those who touch my homeland, kill without mercy. Chapter 1248. Li Shang, Yi Fan, Jin Luan, and the rest stared blankly at the sky. Whose anger could trigger the wrath of the heavens? A black shadow directly shot down from the sky above the immortal arena and landed in front of Li Shang and the others with a bang. Lu Chen's eyes widened as he looked at the wounded. Little Green. Lu Chen called out Little Green. Quick, save them no matter what. Lu Yi hurriedly checked everyone's injuries. Li Shang, Yi Fan, and Jin Luan looked at Lu Chen in shock. Dean, you're finally back. I knew you would come back. Quick, quick, there's no time. Senior Li Shang coordinates. Li Shang didn't have time to say anything. He hurriedly flew the coordinates to Lu Chen and gave them to Lu Chen. There was less than a minute left. No matter what they had to say, transferring the coordinates was the most important thing. Lu Chen received the coordinates and looked at everyone's injuries. Anger attacked his heart. Among these people, he didn't know how many he could save. They were using their lives to buy time. Everyone had done their best to protect Earth. Yi Fan and Jiu also came. Unfortunately, Lu Chen didn't have time to ask. He pressed one hand on Yi Fan's shoulder and nodded at him. He said with a trembling voice, Yi Fan, good job. Rest well. Leave the rest to me. Chen be careful. There are 183 challengers. Lu Chen came back, but it didn't mean the coordinates were safe. The real battle had just begun. 6 years of preparation. No, if Lu Yuan and Li Shang's plan was included, then decades of preparation were all for this battle. The battle to protect. There were already 183 challengers in this battle, but Lu Chen was the only one on Earth's side. Lu Chen nodded, Senior Li Shang, I'm going. Then he turned and walked toward the immortal battle arena. Jin Luan swallowed a pill and struggled to sit up. His eyes followed Lu Chen's back as his breathing quickened. Holy, can that kid hold on? Li Shang leaned against the wall and sighed. I don't know. I only know that if he can't defend, then no one can. In the Kunlun City Immortal Coliseum, a loose immortal was already waiting there. Earth's last place was already in the bag. It was just that this group of individual immortals was weak, but they were too cunning. They had to wait until the last moment before accepting the challenge. He shouted to the audience, I say, you trash from Earth, are you still not willing to give up? The true immortal helping you can't even move. No matter how you 10 and struggle, you won't be able to change the outcome. What need is there to protect a world like yours? A group of loose immortals was the worst amongst loose immortals. I've already said that I wouldn't have to waste so much time if I killed all of you. Until now, you still don't agree to the challenge. Li Shang, I think you might as well give up, lest you get beaten to death by me when you get on the stage. At this moment, a prompt came from above the stage. Solipsistic has accepted the challenge. Please get on the stage to accept the challenge within 30 seconds. That loose immortal frowned slightly. Who is Solipsistic? Those loose immortals from Earth had already gone on the stage. Some even went on the stage twice, but he had never heard of such a person. But then he felt relieved. I guess they found someone to die. Anyway, those immortal cultivators from Earth are famous for their weak strength. It doesn't matter who goes up. Hey, Solipsistic, get on the stage and accept your death. If you behave, I'll give you a quick death. On the other side of the immortal Coliseum, a tall man appeared at the entrance. The wind lifted his black robe with golden patterns, but it didn't extinguish the anger in his eyes. Not long after, Lu Chen had already walked to the center of the stage. He glanced at that loose immortal, narrowed his eyes slightly, and said coldly, Who are you calling trash? That person wasn't afraid of Lu Chen at all. He raised his head and said contemptuously, What do you think? Look at those trash from Earth. They were beaten like dogs. If they aren't trash, then what are they? In this world, the strong can wantonly trample on trash like you. To be honest, I have no interest in your trash planet. I just feel that you guys are not worthy to appear in the 7th layer of heaven. Being a loose immortal like you guys is the biggest insult to me. Lu Chen snorted coldly. Sorry, I'm not a loose immortal. That person clicked his tongue. Not a loose immortal? Don't tell me you're a true immortal. Dream on. Lu Chen said calmly. I'm also not a true immortal. I'm a human king. Human king? You, what kind of joke are you making? That person suddenly widened his eyes and looked at Lu Chun in disbelief. Lu Chun sneered. I'm telling you this because I want you to understand one thing before you die. You are not worthy to be mentioned in the same breath as Li Shang and the others. With a ding sound, the immortal Colosseum began. That person shouted angrily, Solipsistic, you are really arrogant. Unfortunately, your arrogance doesn't match your strength. So you're just a jumping clown? I'll let you know what a seventh tribulation loose immortal is. Immortal technique, 7 ultimate spirit energy cannon. This guy was actually an explosion expert. This was the first time Lu Chun saw an explosion expert in the 7th layer of heaven. If it was a normal time, he might have a good chat with him. But now they are enemies. Lu Chun snorted and instantly activated divine demon symbiosis and dragon god form. In the distance, Yi Fan was leaning against the wall. When he saw the changes in Lu Chun's form, he couldn't help but frown. Strange, when the demon god symbiosis is activated, why is there an instant of a demon god's image? He had seen the Dean fight many times, so he was quite familiar with divine demon symbiosis. In the past, it was just white hair and a bunch of fox ears. But just now, when divine demon symbiosis was activated, 2 afterimages suddenly appeared. After shaking the surrounding space, they quickly disappeared. Li Shang also frowned. Last time when Lu Chun fought with Chang Sheng, there was no afterimage of divine demon. Don't tell me, it leveled up. Yi Fan's eyes widened. Lu Chun's divine demon symbiosis has indeed leveled up. Now, it is divine demon 8 transformation, and the effect is more powerful than before. Quick shadow spear. With a roar, a black spear appeared in Lu Chun's hand. In the blink of an eye, man and spear became one and shot out. In an instant, 4 more shots were fired. Just as the 7 ultimate spiritual energy cannon was activated, a black shadow had already arrived in front of the itinerant immortal. The itinerant immortal's eyes widened. The speed of the spear was so fast that he could not dodge it at all. So fast. Spiritual energy armor shield. The moment the shield was formed, the god-slaying spear had already pierced through the shield. It did not even cause a strong spiritual explosion. When skills of similar power collided, there would definitely be spiritual energy fluctuations. However, if the difference between 2 skills was too great, the spiritual energy fluctuations would be engulfed by the stronger side before they could spread. An extreme shadow instantly pierced through the itinerant immortal's chest. A moment later, the itinerant immortal fell forward stiffly with a horrified expression on his face. In 1 second, a 7th tribulation itinerant immortal was killed. Just now, this itinerant immortal did not have the coordinates of other planets. However, Lu Chun could obtain the collateral of this itinerant immortal, which was equivalent to the coordinates of other planets. As for what exactly it was, he would have to retrieve it after the battle. Lu Chun stood in the middle of the arena again. He narrowed his eyes slightly and looked at the corpse on the ground. He said coldly, "Trash." Chapter 1249. After going through the myriad world labyrinth, Lu Chun's all-creation bloodline had been upgraded to the first stage, level 5, and his attributes had increased by 50%. In addition, the effect of the 8 transformations of celestial demons had doubled. Now, in front of Lu Chun, itinerant immortals had no power to fight back at all. Accept the next challenge, Lu Chun said coldly. In 30 consecutive challenges, all itinerant immortals were defeated by Lu Chun in 1 move. Lu Chun was a man of his word. This time, he didn't stay behind and killed everyone who fought for Earth's coordinates. No one was left alive. Earth's coordinates were refreshed again and again, and all of them were the words solipsistic defeated challengers. In the human territory, countless people were watching this competition. Even those who didn't pay attention were flooded by the eye-catching warning messages on the planet's information inquiry device. Who is this solipsistic? 30 consecutive wins? He must have killed some itinerant immortals. Look at his immortal arena. There is no change. The fights between itinerant immortals and immortals are not counted in the immortal arena. Even if he is an itinerant immortal, he is not an immortal-level itinerant immortal. 30 consecutive wins. Could he be the strongest among the itinerant immortals? At this moment, almost at the same time, the inquiry device refreshed 20 messages. Solipsistic 1. Earth's current remaining coordinates. 1. Solipsistic 1. Earth's current remaining coordinates. 1. There was only one possibility for 20 messages to be refreshed at the same time. Solipsistic was fighting one against many. They're all itinerant immortals, but this guy can defeat 20 itinerant immortals at the same time? I don't believe it. I'm going to Kunlun City to take a look. At the same time, in the spirit territory, a man who looked almost like a human was half lying on the basalt ground. He supported his head with one hand and moved the fingers of his other hand nimbly. If an expert who had cultivated to the level of spiritual observation was here, they would discover that there were 5 spirit threads extending from his 5 fingers, and those 5 spirit threads would then diverge. When he was 20 meters away from this person, the spirit threads had already diverged into a dense number of branches, covering the entire space. Without a doubt, this person was a puppeteer. However, even for puppeteers, no one could control so many puppets at the same time. Qianji, there's news about the person you found. A rogue immortal's voice could be heard from outside the room. This puppeteer was the original Heaven Domain boss that almost killed Lu Chun, the 1,000 puppeteer. Hearing this, Qianji immediately kept his left hand and rushed out of the room. Where is he? The person outside the door bowed and answered respectfully. Solipsistic is in the human immortal realm. Right now, he is guarding the last coordinate of his planet and has already won 50 matches in a row. I've already asked my friend in the human world to send us the images. Qianji hurriedly walked to the other room. A shadow stone was floating in the air, projecting the image of the immortal Colosseum in Kunlun City. Looking at the man in black, Qianji's eyes widened. He cannot take his eyes off him. Solipsistic, you can actually reach the 7th layer of heaven, Qianji's subordinate said. This person is not in the immortal realm. He might be a rogue immortal, but someone heard him say that he is not a rogue immortal. Qianji frowned. If he is not in the immortal realm, it means that he has not opened the immortal path. He is not a rogue immortal. How is that possible? Someone heard him say that he is in the human king realm. Human king realm. Qianji frowned. That's right. Back then, I received an order to kill Solipsistic. This means that someone in the upper echelons does not want him to continue on his path. If that is the case, he should not have survived the heavens' tribulation. Qianji's subordinate said. Even if he can't survive the heavens' tribulation, shouldn't he be a rogue immortal? No. Lan Feng, you don't understand. That guy is not an ordinary person. Qianji said. His 3 battle pets are all monsters, especially that white tiger. I almost died in its hands. Qianji shuddered when he thought of the spiritual energy that exploded when Suboriginator swallowed the spiritual cores of the 4 supreme demonic beasts. Those battle pets are foolishly loyal. They might have used some method to protect that guy when he failed the heavens tribulation, Qianji thought. Anyway, it's not surprising that anything happened to that guy. But, he's not even a rogue immortal. Qianji could not help but laugh. When I went to the 6th layer of heaven, I wanted to kill him. But he grew so fast that he reached the peak of the 6th layer of heaven within a few years. He also had a lot of friends. I had no choice but to undergo the heavens tribulation in advance. Damn it, it was the great ominous celestial phenomenon at that time. I couldn't even become a true immortal. But luckily, I am a puppet master, and the Hong Yu celestial master appreciated me. With some time, I could have killed Solipsistic. But who would have thought that after so many years of being careful, that guy is not even a rogue immortal? God is on my side. Lan Feng frowned and said, Qianji, although he is not an itinerant immortal, he is quite powerful. I have never seen such a powerful itinerant immortal other than puppet masters and beast tamers. Qianji snorted. What's the use of being powerful? The upper limit is already sealed. Besides, how many humans are capable of fighting? This was probably the best news that Qianji had heard in so many years. He continued to watch Lu Qin's battle with interest. But as he watched, he realized that something was wrong. 30 rogue immortals. They cannot fight at all. In less than 3 minutes, all 30 of them were killed. Qianji, this solipsistic seems to be... Lan Feng said with a frown. Qianji frowned. How many people want to challenge him now? 127 people. Are there any true immortals? There are 38 true immortals. But the strongest is only a 4-star. Earth is only a technological world. Powerful true immortals are usually not interested. Qianji narrowed his eyes. A 4-star immortal might not be able to win. Lan Feng, let our friend talk to him. If 1 is not enough, 2. If 2 is not enough, 3. I don't believe that this guy will be invincible in the 7th layer of heaven. Yes, I will contact them now. Kunlun City, Immortal Arena. Lu Qian held his spear and stood in the middle of the arena. There were only 127 people left out of 183 challengers. Lu Qian narrowed his eyes slightly. Fighting like this was really too slow. Then he shouted, the remaining 127 people attacked together. Previously, Lu Qian had been fighting against 20 or 30 people at the same time. But these challengers were only rogue immortals. For a powerful true immortal, it was not too difficult. But now it was different. There were true immortals among the 127 people left. Lu Qian didn't even ask and directly asked everyone to attack together. This has already caused a commotion among the immortals who usually don't smile. Is this guy crazy? He is only a rogue immortal, and he wants to challenge 127 people at the same time. There are close to 40 true immortals among them. He is too arrogant. I have been in the 7th layer of heaven for so long, and I have never seen someone as arrogant as him. Is this guy really not a true immortal? He killed 50 rogue immortals, and his spiritual energy was not disturbed at all. How can there be such a domineering rogue immortal? He seems to have said that he is not a rogue immortal. At this moment, more than 10 true immortals in the spectator stand stood up. One of them shouted at Lu Qian, solipsistic, are you sure you want us to attack together? Don't blame us for bullying you with numbers when you lose. Another true immortal said angrily, so arrogant. I did not sign up, but seeing how arrogant you are, fine. I want to see what you are so arrogant about. Solipsistic, aren't you just a rogue immortal who has not even opened the immortal path? You actually dare to shout at a true immortal. Aren't you afraid that we will gang up on you? Lu Qian looked at that person and snorted. So many people have heard it. Are you afraid that I will deny it? Then Lu Qian said loudly, I want you to see if the immortal cultivators of Earth are the trash that you say they are. I also want to warn some people that if they want to attack Earth, they better weigh their own abilities. Saying that the immortal cultivators of Earth are trash. Saying that they do not dare to accept the challenge. Fine, I will show you the courage of the people of Earth. The rest of you, come at me as many as you can. Even if all of you come at me together, I am solipsistic. I will take all of you. Chapter 1250. A mere loose immortal dares to publicly humiliate a true immortal. You think you're invincible just because you killed a few loose immortals? Loose immortals are nothing but dogs in this lord's residence. Today this lord will definitely kill you on the spot. How much background can a planet with 20 coordinates have? This immortal will kill you like slaughtering a dog. Figures directly rush out from the spectator stand. The number of people actually exceeded 127. That is to say, there are still many people who temporarily join the ranks of challengers. Li Shang sees this scene, and his heart is burning with anxiety. Isn't Shun a bit too reckless? It's already hard to imagine that he had to deal with 183 challengers, but he actually angered others. Lu Yi is currently bandaging Li Shang's broken arm. Senior Li Shang, don't be angry. I will temporarily bandage your injury for you. After we return, I will refine 2 immortal body regeneration pills. You should be able to recover. You are an immortal medicine master? Li Shang asks in astonishment. He knows that Lu Yi is an alchemist, but he didn't know that her level is so high. In the immortal domain, as long as it is an immortal medicine master, which immortal master doesn't want to snatch them. Even if they seek refuge with a venerable immortal, they will immediately be kept. Immortal battles are frequent. Secret realms are dangerous. Immortal medicine masters kill people for their goods, a necessity for traveling home. Louis smiles faintly. I also just advanced to immortal medicine master not long ago. Louis doesn't say much about her own matters. Instead, she helps Lu Chen explain. Senior Li Shang, boss wants to avenge Fei Jiang and the others, to restore Earth's name. Fei Jiang? Lu Yi lowers her head and says while choking with sobs, Little Green is incompetent. Fei Jiang, Gongming, Zhu Yao, the 3 seniors have already fallen. Li Shang looks at the 3 people lying on the side of the field. They have been together in the 7th layer of heaven for several decades, supporting each other and enduring humiliation to save Earth. In the end, Fei Jiang and the others are still 1 step ahead. Thinking of this, Li Shang can't help but cry bitterly. On the stage, Lu Chen is looking at Li Shang and the others in a daze. He looks on as Lu Yi takes out a white cloth and covers the 3 people. His heart feels like a knife is twisting. Solipsistic, did you see that? That is the fate of you Earthlings. I only hate the fact that I only killed 1 person earlier. I really should have killed all of you ants. A certain true immortal said coldly. Solipsistic, you said you wanted to challenge all of us. Today is the day you die. How dare you offend your superiors and provoke a true immortal? Your crime is unforgivable. Today, I will kill all of you Earth's individual immortals. Lu Chen turned his head to look at the more than 100 opponents on the stage. Dark green mist faintly appeared in his eyes. I'll say it again. I'm not a loose immortal. I don't care if you're a true immortal or a loose immortal. Today, all who invade my planet will die. Those who harm my compatriots die. Those who hurt my companions die. As soon as Lu Chen's voice fell, a violent wave of spiritual energy instantly exploded in the field. Behind Lu Chen, 2 phantoms that were hundreds of meters long suddenly appeared. One of them was dignified and mighty, while the other had a ferocious expression. The phantoms disappeared in a flash. However, when the crowd saw the 2 phantoms, they were all shocked. Am I seeing things? Are those the phantoms of heaven, God Han Yuan, and Chaos, Heavenly Demon? This kid has already reached the 8th level of the 9 transformations of the Celestial Demon. The 9 transformations of the Celestial Demon is the number 1 forbidden technique of the Jiuqian. It has long been broken up and left in various parts of the Jiuqian. He has actually reached the 8th level. Be careful. I heard that although this guy has not opened the path of immortality, he has several life reversing Celestial Demon sets. At this moment, another 3 true immortals appeared in a flash and directly entered the immortal battle arena. When they saw these 3 people, the crowd of challengers widened their eyes. These 3 people were all well-known figures among the true immortals of the human race. When some of the individual immortals saw these 3 people, they hurriedly bowed. Immortal Master Shuagu, Immortal Master Yunba, and Immortal Master Yunkei. The surrounding challengers all stood behind these 3 people. The originally leaderless crowd of more than 100 people seemed to have found their leader. Yifan looked nervously at the arena and hurriedly asked Li Shang, Senior Li Shang, who are these 3 people that just came? The others seemed to be very afraid of them. Li Shang's expression became even more nervous. He frowned and said in a hurried tone, Why are the 3 of them here? These 3 people are famous true immortals in Kunlun City. Yunk, 7 Tribulation True Immortal, current immortal rank, 8 stars. Battle record, 17 wins in 19 battles. Yunba, 8 Tribulation True Immortal, current immortal rank, 8 stars. Battle record, 16 wins in 17 battles. Shuagu, 8 Tribulation True Immortal, current immortal rank, 8 stars. Battle record, 22 wins in 22 battles. When Yi Fan heard this, he immediately sucked in a breath of cold air. When he and Jiao challenged true immortals before, they each fought 9 battles. Although they won all their battles, their opponent's strength was only around 3 stars, and their tribulations were not high. After all, on a planet like Earth, high-level true immortals were not interested. Originally, the Dean's opponents were at most 4 stars. Although the Dean fought one against many, Yi Fan was still very confident in the Dean's ability. However, when these 3 powerful people appeared, the situation suddenly changed. All 3 of them were 8 stars true immortals. This level was not common in Kunlun City. At this time, the 3 powerful people, among the 150 challengers, there were 50 true immortals. The Dean challenging so many powerful people had completely exceeded everyone's expectations. Lu Chen also noticed these 3 powerful people. The feeling they gave off was completely different from the other true immortals. After the baptism of more than 500 worlds, Lu Chen had also helped the other worlds to resist the demonic beasts many times. He more or less understood the strength of a true immortal. The strength of these 3 people should be on par with the Black God. Back then, Tian Rue said that Lu Chen had to be at least a 7 stars true immortal to be qualified to fight the Black God Wu Zhiqi. However, in reality, Wu Zhiqi's strength was definitely higher than that. 3 Black Gods, plus so many true immortals and loose immortals. This time it would not be so easy. At this time, the youngest man of the 3 looked at Lu Chen indifferently. Solipsistic, you seemed very arrogant just now. Why did you stop talking when you saw me, Yunk? Another person sneered. You kept saying that you were a human king. At first, I did not believe it. In the end, a friend confirmed this possibility for me. In that case, you immortal actually dared to enter the immortal region. How bold! The last one to speak was the strongest of the 3, Shuagu. He narrowed his eyes slightly, revealing a cold light as he said loudly, "Just now, you said that 3 kinds of people must die. Then I will tell you the reason why you must die. Gods and demons defy fate. The Jotian will not tolerate it. You solipsistic must die. Mortals slays immortals, defying the heavenly Tao. You solipsistic must die. The weak are prey to the strong. You are the weak. You, solipsistic, your planet, your companions must die." Shuagu's voice was like a bell, resounding throughout the entire immortal arena. It carried an undefiable heavenly might, shocking everyone. Lu Chen looked at the 3 people, then looked at the many challengers behind them. Suddenly, he lowered his head. Ha ha ha! Lu Chen's laughter suddenly came from the immortal arena. His voice went from soft to loud, until it became crazy. Suddenly, the laughter stopped abruptly. Lu Chen raised his head slightly. Lu Chen's eyes were red. So what if you are immortal? So what if you are Jutian? So what if you're the rules? So what if you are the heavenly Tao? Lu Chen gently stroked the body of the god-slaying spear. As Lu Chen's palm swept across the black god-slaying spear, the body of the spear turned dark red, as if there was lava rolling inside the spear. The body of the spear also ignited with raging flames. Gods and demons are merciless. I am a god and demon. Heaven and earth have no Tao. I am a Tao. Chapter 1251. How arrogant! Kill him! Shua Gu roared, and a group of itinerant immortals and true immortals rushed toward Lu Chen. Not far away, a figure flashed to Li Shang's side. Ling Long had finally found Lu Chen's fellow tribesmen, and she saw this scene. She did not have time to greet them, and her heart was in her throat. Yunk Yunba, Shua Gu, why are they here to fight for the coordinates? At this moment, Lu Chen's body exploded with a burst of terrifying spiritual energy, and he was in his best state. God of war possession, devil transformation, dragon blood boiling, dragon god form, celestial demonic might, emptiness of gods and demons' arm. Celestial demonic heavenly eyes. Celestial demonic lotus heart. Inner demon. Celestial demonic body. At this moment, Lu Chun was like a raging god of war, facing many itinerant immortals and true immortals alone. Tiger descends the mountain. Sacred lotus sword heart. Tiger descends the mountain. Fire suppression. Void attack. 9 dragons destroy the world. A series of skills collided with everyone's skills, and the arena exploded. This guy's attack is 2. Divine Phoenix 9 screens. In front of an itinerant immortal, a tangible shield opened up like a peacock spreading its tail. This was a defensive treasure, and its defensive power was quite good. However, 4 or 5 powerful spear auras hit the 9 screens directly. Boom, boom, boom. The 9 screens shattered instantly, and the itinerant immortal was hit by the spear auras. His left arm was directly cut off, and his whole body flew backward, slamming into the high wall at the edge of the arena. Even some true immortals were unlucky enough to be hit, and they immediately became dispirited. With Lu Chen's current attributes, his attack power was extremely shocking, and ordinary defenses could not block it at all. In an instant, at least half of the dozens of itinerant immortals here were hit by Lu Chen's fierce attacks, and they were seriously injured. Itinerant immortals with low tribulations could only be killed in an instant by Lu Chun. Is this guy really a human king? In the spectator seats, the true immortals had already stood up involuntarily. He killed itinerant immortals like chickens, let alone loose immortals. Even true immortals can't block his attacks. What kind of attack is this? Why is it so powerful? Before his voice fell, Lu Chen's figure was like a ghost on the battlefield. He shouted, Buddha body avatar, battle soul. Suddenly, 3 more solipsistic appeared on the battlefield, and the entire battlefield became even darker. Guyan slowly woke up. The moment he opened his eyes, he saw the terrifying battle on the battlefield. He frowned and glanced at the golden chariot beside him. Cough, cough, cough. Old Jean, what's going on? Jean Luan stared intently at the battlefield. It was Chun, who accepted everyone's challenge. How many coordinates do we have left? 1. It's in his hands. This kid is crazy. Guyan's mind spun rapidly, but he still couldn't figure it out even after a long time. At this moment, it just so happened that one of his Buddha avatars was heavily injured by Skylark's immortal technique. Guyan's mind trembled violently, and coupled with the fact that he had yet to recover from his injuries, he fainted again. At this time, Lu Chen's inner demon state had lasted for a long time, but he did not exit the inner demon state. Slaughter. Lu Chen's eyes were filled with killing intent. All of you will be buried with my clansmen. Lu Chen roared and quickly killed a true immortal with the swift shadow spear. The swift shadow spear's momentum did not decrease. At the same time, Lu Chen followed up with another spear, killing another person. Solipsistic die for me. Yunk roared. Immortal technique. Martial path universe. 5 stars piercing the sun. Yunk's main cultivation seemed to be the martial paths, killing god assassin. His figure instantly disappeared and flickered several times, leaving behind 5 afterimages beside Lu Chun. When the last afterimage was formed, the 5 afterimages quickly gathered toward the center. The moment they gathered, the killing move would take effect. Facing Yunk's strange technique, Lu Chun directly defended. Void Guard. At this time, a black shadow flashed behind Lu Chun. The dagger in Yunk's hand shone with a cold light. He and the dagger became one, turning into a white light that shot toward Lu Chen's eyes. I will first destroy your demon, god, heavenly eyes. Let's see how you dodge. Lu Chun coldly snorted. With just you? Reverse soul roaming dragon. The power of Yunk's move was extremely terrifying. Assassins were like this. They were agile and waited for an opportunity to move. Once he found an opportunity, his attack would be fatal. However, Lu Chen's anonymous roaming dragon directly swung away Yunk's sneak attack. The roaming dragon was anonymous. Blocking was only the prelude. Counterattacking was the essence. After blocking the 5 stars piercing the sun, Lu Chun shot his spear at Yunk. You actually... Yunk's eyes widened. He hurriedly used his technique, substitute puppet. Lu Chen's spear pierced through a puppet. He blamed himself for being careless. This Yunk was not only a killing god assassin, but he also cultivated the puppet technique. Sure enough, an 8-star true immortal was not so easy to kill. When did he appear behind the dean? Yifan did not see Yunk's movements clearly. It was as if this person had appeared behind the dean out of thin air. Could it be that those 5 illusions were just a feint? The purpose was to attract the enemy's attention, and then he took the opportunity to hide and suddenly appeared? On the side, Ling Long shook her head. Yunk's 5 stars piercing the sun was not a feint. The attack of those 5 illusions was a kind of real attack that made use of the disorder of time and space. If Nameless had not blocked the illusion's attack just now, the consequences would have been unimaginable. However, if the illusions were blocked or dodged, in the end, the attack would be transferred to the final move, piercing the sun. If it were not for Nameless Reverse Soul Roaming Dragon, if it were any other technique, I'm afraid he would have been hit. That guy's every decision during the battle could have put himself in danger if he had made a slight mistake. Yifan frowned. It turned out that the dean's battle was not as simple as it seemed. Senior, you are... After a while, Yifan seemed to remember something and asked the woman beside him. Ling Long was stunned. Yes, the people here were either that guy's clansmen or his friends. Why was she standing here? I'm his friend, Ling Long said somewhat unnaturally. Yifan could not help but be stunned. As expected of the dean, not long after coming to the 7th heaven, he had another beautiful friend by his side. Looking at the way this beauty looked at the dean, it was somewhat similar to Senior Jior's. They should not be simple friends. The dean was indeed worthy of the title of Love Saint. However, Yifan did not continue to think about it. After all, it was not the time to care about these things. As the inner demon time continued, Lu Chen's means became more and more terrifying. He directly released Furball, Little Beast, and Originator to deal with the wounded. Lu Chen's eyes were blood red, and he shouted in a low voice, "Don't leave anyone alive." Ha ha ha. Dad, you finally remembered us. Little Beast went all out as soon as it appeared. Okay, don't worry, Dad. None of you can escape. Squeak, 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 squeak. Furball seemed to be particularly interested in eating immortals and could not wait to pounce on a seriously injured genuine immortal. In less than 10 minutes, there were countless casualties on the battlefield. All the loose immortals were killed. After being taken care of by Furball and Little Beast, they died without a complete corpse. Most of the genuine immortals also died under Lu Chen's rapid shadow spear. The remaining 20 or so genuine immortals looked at Lu Chun as if he was a monster. Seeing Lu Chun walk over, they could not help but retreat step by step. Lu Chun finally got rid of the inner demon time. However, it took time to get rid of the inner demon time. Getting rid of it now was only to ensure that his demonic nature would not continue to grow. Lu Chun coldly looked at the enemies in front of him and said in a cold voice, "What? Are you afraid? I said, don't leave anyone alive." He twirled his spear in his hand and said with a smile, "If you want to live, there's only one way, and that is to kill me." Chapter 1252. Now, Lu Chun was not a kind person. The group of immortals who had been flaunting their prowess earlier had been reduced to just over 20. Not only that, but there were also screams coming from the surroundings. That was the result of little furball eating. Sky-devouring God-eater rat. He is sky-devouring God-eater rats. Lu Chen's eyes were filled with killing intent. He held the long spear in his hand and became one with it. God-slaying spear, rapid shadow spear. It's the rapid shadow spear again. These immortals had seen the power of the rapid shadow spear. Together with Lu Chen's ridiculous attributes, Lu Chun could increase the rapid shadow spear to 6 spears, which was extremely fast and almost indestructible. Everyone hurriedly scattered, but their speed was no match for the rapid shadow spear. In the blink of an eye, the god-slaying spear had killed a few more people. At this point, people had realized that only Yunk, Yunba, and Shuagu, the three 8-star immortals, could fight with solipsistic. The other immortals were no different from individual immortals to solipsistic. How can a human king have such terrifying strength? Based on his strength, he must have broken through the upper limit of the human king. Could it be that he opened the path of immortality? I know about those people from Earth. It has only been 6 years since they came to the seventh heaven. Just the attributes of the reward for successfully passing the tribulation are already very terrifying for ordinary people. If he is really a human king, how did he not only make up for such a huge gap in strength in such a short period of time, but also directly crush true immortals below 8 stars? No matter what the reason is, not only did that guy guard the last coordinate, but he also snatched the coordinates of more than 10 other planets. He's too domineering. Don't worry, Shuagu and the other two have not done their best. If they kill solipsistic, those individual immortals on Earth will not be able to guard the coordinates. 10 minutes later, Liu Chan killed all the remaining immortals along the way. Apart from Shuagu and the other two, the other immortals were at most 4-star. 2 years ago, Liu Chan could already kill Black Ultimate God. Now, his creation bloodline had been upgraded to Stage 2, Level 1. Combined with the 8 Celestial Demon transformation, his strength had greatly increased. Killing these low-level true immortals was as easy as flipping his hand. Li Shan couldn't help but shake his head. Chun'er is really too strong. Yi Fan shook his head. I've been bitterly cultivating in the astral sky illusion array for 30 years. I originally thought that I had shortened the gap between me and the principal, but who would have thought that the gap between us would only grow wider and wider? It had always been Yi Fan who had left others far behind, but only when he was compared to the Dean could Yi Fan experience the feeling of being left in the dust. Fortunately, Ling Long said something fair. You're his disciple, right? You don't have to belittle yourself. He's been training in the cultivation method testing field for almost 50 years. 50 years? Really? Yes, the cultivation method Spirit Pagoda is different from the astral sky illusion array you mentioned. The cultivation method Spirit Pagoda can only be used to comprehend cultivation methods. However, comprehending cultivation methods is also a part of cultivation, so you're not too bad. Yi Fan finally heaved a sigh of relief. That's good. Otherwise, the director would say that I was slacking off. At the same time, on the battlefield, the ground had been stained with blood. 150 individual immortals and genuine immortals were now lying in pools of blood. Little Beast and Little Furball were busy eating. The spiritual nucleus of the human race was located in the lower abdomen. Little Beast pierced the lower abdomen of the injured with its claws, took out the spiritual nucleus, and swallowed it directly. Little Furball was not picky. Anyway, it was fine as long as it could eat the bones and the meat. Only Little Originator was a little bored. It would not swallow these things, but Big Brother had ordered it not to leave anyone alive. It was only responsible for the last hit. Even these battle-hardened immortals who had experienced hundreds of battles couldn't help but feel their hearts skip a beat upon seeing this scene. This immortal Colosseum is about to become a place of slaughter. Anyone who challenges will be killed directly. Without a 9-star or a higher level, who will dare to attack Earth in the future? Sure enough, no one was left alive on the battlefield. The immortal Colosseum had been dyed red with blood, but there were still 3 people left on the battlefield. At this time, Liu Chun had regained consciousness. The crazy killing intent in his eyes gradually faded away. He looked around indifferently, but did not stop Little Beast and the others from eating. Even if he was sober, his decision would not change. Then Liu Chan turned to Shuagu and the other two and said coldly, I'll give you a chance to live. I'll spare your life if you tell me who the friend you were talking about is. Yin Ba had said before that his friend had confirmed that Liu Chan was not an immortal. Who knew that such an unintentional sentence would be remembered by Lu Chun? Shuagu narrowed his eyes slightly. What a joke. Spare our lives? You. Lu Chun was not in a hurry to attack. He paced in front of the three and said, when I said that I was in the human king realm, most of them did not take it seriously. So I'm very curious. Who is your friend? Why are you so sure that I'm in the human king realm? In the seventh heaven, there were only a few people who knew that Lu Chun was not an immortal. Even Lu Chun could not think of anyone who knew an 8-star true immortal. It was either a friend of Ling Long or a friend of the old man who registered on the immortal bestowment platform. There was also another possibility. When Lu Chun was crossing the tribulation in the Tower of Babel, there was a voice that sounded like a senior immortal. No one should know better than that person about Lu Chun's level. Since these three people were on the stage, it was most likely that their friend was also Lu Chun's enemy. It was because of this that Lu Chun was so interested in this matter. You don't deserve to know our friend, Shuagu snorted. Solipsistic, don't think that you are qualified to fight with us just because you killed some rotten fish and shrimps. Lu Chun frowned slightly. It seemed that these three people did not want to be honest with him. I have already given you a chance, but you did not want to say it. But it's okay, even if you don't say it, I can still find out. Lu Chun's killing intent reappeared in his eyes. Since you are no longer useful, I don't need to keep you anymore. With that, Lu Chun held the god-slaying spear in one hand. When Ling Long saw Lu Chun raise his hand, she knew that something was wrong. She quickly set up a formation to surround Li Shang, Yi Fan, and the others. Hiss! Immortal Master, what are you doing? Li Shang looked at Ling Long in surprise. Ling Long waited until she finished setting up the defensive formation before answering. Nameless' next move is too destructive. You may be affected, and I can't protect all of you, so I set up a defensive formation first. Li Shang said, God-slaying spear? The rapid shadow spear and reverse soul, roaming dragon, shouldn't be that powerful. You actually need to set up a defensive formation to resist the aftermath. Ling Long shook her head. It's not those two moves. At this moment, the three true immortals attacked at the same time. Immortal Technique, Martial Path Universe, 7 stars destruction. Immortal Technique, Extreme Heaven Dharma, Buddha Demon Suppression Seal. Solipsistic, go to hell. Immortal Technique, for extremes Sword Art, Green Dragon Extreme Sword. The three great immortal techniques were activated at the same time. The defensive formation around the entire immortal arena was already on the verge of collapse. This is the famous immortal technique of Shuo, Gu, and the others. They actually used it at the same time. That solipsistic will definitely die. Lu Chun snorted coldly. His left Taishu arm held the sword, and his eyes were cold. Good. Immediately, Lu Chun roared. A pillar of fire shot up into the sky, as if it was going to cover the entire immortal arena and shoot straight into the clouds. Void attack, void god slaying spear, earth fire heaven's fury spear. Chapter 1253. Earth fire soared into the sky as one. 3 billion spiritual energy burned and boiled. Heaven and earth turned into this terrifying spear. At this moment, Lu Chun's Heaven's Wrath Spear seemed to be different from the one Lu Chun used before. The secret of the Heaven's Wrath Spear was to not control the spiritual energy, but to let the spiritual energy surge out crazily. However, this time, Lu Chun used this palm after a long time in the inner demon state. The inner demon made people lose their minds and become crazier. At this time, although Lu Chun could control his emotions, after using the Heaven's Wrath Spear, he immediately activated the Berserk state again. In the Berserk state, the power of the Heaven's Wrath Spear became even more terrifying. The flames rushed to the sky. Break for me, Lu Chun shouted angrily. His entire body chased down from midair with the force of 10,000 kilograms. Facing such a terrifying spear, Shuo Gu and the other two widened their eyes. This is that guy's real strength? The Heaven's Wrath Spear, is too exaggerated. This is not the combat power of a mortal. What level of skill is the god-slaying spear? At this time, they did not have much time left. The three of them hurriedly gave up on attacking and defended with all their strength. Buddha's golden body protection. Demon subduing Kasaya. Death golden body. Spiritual energy protection. Yinba directly used 4 defensive skills. Magical treasure. The other 2 players also activated every defensive skill they had at their disposal, hoping to block this attack. In an instant, Lu Chun had turned into a black stream of light and crashed into the ground. With a loud bang, the ground directly exploded. The special material of the ground collapsed under the huge impact. The walls of the entire immortal arena collapsed, and the spectator seats sank into the ground. Waves of spiritual energy, each higher than the previous, turned into rings of energy and shook from the center of the battlefield at an extremely fast speed. They hit the surrounding defensive shields and made a loud bang. What a strong aftershock. This skill is probably above the immortal technique. Is this really a battle between immortals? I'm afraid the battle between Sengoku is just like this. After more than 10 rings of spiritual energy hit the defensive array set up by Ling Long, Li Shang and the others finally understood. If the woman hadn't set up a defensive formation in advance, how could they have withstood the terrifying aftermath of this spiritual power? Ling Long frowned as she looked at the person on the battlefield. Nameless Heaven's Wrath Spear was even more terrifying than the one she had seen before. If Nameless had fought against Black Extinction God, she would have been able to defeat Firmament Galaxy without the help of others. This fellow's improvement speed is seriously too fast. His combat ability has at least reached the level of a 9-star true immortal. He still remembered the first time they had met 6 years ago. That silly boy had run up to him and anxiously asked about the information card. In the blink of an eye, 6 years had passed, and he had already surpassed his own battle prowess. Ling Long was a 9-tribulation true celestial with great potential and excellent aptitude. Logically speaking, no one should have a faster cultivation speed than her. However, that kid had created a miracle in just 6 years with the body of a human king. Compared to this lad, his 9 tribulations true immortal cultivation was nothing at all. At this moment, Yi Fan said faintly, "Dean, you're indeed someone who survived a 12th level heavenly tribulation. You're too strong, what? What level of heavenly tribulation?" Ling Long looked at Yi Fan in shock. "A 12th level heavenly tribulation," Yi Fan said matter-of-factly. Everyone in the 6 heavens knew about this. It was a super heavenly tribulation, and it lasted for several days. However, to Ling Long, this was no different from a bolt from the blue. He's going through a 12th level super heavenly tribulation. A 12th level heavenly tribulation is a super heavenly tribulation. It's not used for tribulations, it's used to kill people. Ling Long said in horror. Ling Long's understanding of Jiuqian was incomparable to that of ordinary people. She had seen through the essence of a 12th level heavenly tribulation. It's used to kill people. Ling Long stared blankly at the arena. Rocks were flying everywhere in the immortal battle arena, and the ground was deeply sunken. Those rocks seemed to be suspended in the air, filling the entire space. Nameless and the other 3 had disappeared without a trace in this chaotic world. They must have been pierced through the ground. Suddenly, Ling Long had an indescribable feeling in her heart. All along, as long as tribulations were mentioned, her identity as a 9-tribulation true immortal was enough to make most people revere her. However, her identity as a 9-tribulation true immortal was like child's play in front of this human king. A 1st level heavenly tribulation was 9 times more powerful than a 9th level heavenly tribulation. A 12th level heavenly tribulation was more than 700 times more powerful than a 9th level heavenly tribulation. However, this guy actually survived a 12th level heavenly tribulation. It was clear how terrifying his strength was. Immortal? Even in front of this mortal, they had to tremble. Ling Long took a deep breath and said blankly, "He's probably the #1 human king of all time." "Wrong," Yi Fan suddenly said mercilessly. "He's the #1 king of savages. My dean is a savage." "Senior, as the dean's female friend." "No, as the dean's friend. How could you not know this?" All right, Ling Long's mind was a little messy now. The immortal battle arena had become an abyss, and the arena sunk deep into the ground. Everyone wanted to go up and see the situation, but considering that Solipsistic had said that anyone who went up would die, they could only suppress their curiosity and stand up one by one, anxiously waiting for the result. Not long after, a black figure darted out. "Triple door. I'm all ears," Lu Chan said in a low voice. 3 figures directly passed through the triple door and were pulled up by him. Lu Chun threw the 3 to the side, and they fell to the ground like mud, motionless. "Furball, little beast, I'll leave them to you," Lu Chun said coldly. "Thank you, Dad. Love you." Little beast darted to the front of the 3. "Furball, don't fight with me. It's the same no matter what you eat. This spirit core is very important to me." Squeak, 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 squeak. Furball expressed its indignation. After all, it had never eaten an 8-star delicacy. It said that it had to eat a few mouthfuls first. Lu Chun had always pretended not to see the 2 little fellows fighting over the spirit core. If there was no other way, they could just fight. Lu Chun was a little tired, but he was not completely exhausted. He opened his blood demon bone wings, and the void, god-slaying spear hung by his side. Lu Chun looked around. He was surrounded by a group of immortals. However, at this moment, the group of immortals did not dare to look directly at Lu Chun. At this moment, the announcement was refreshed. Solipsistic 1. Earth's current remaining coordinates. 1. This announcement seemed to have been unchanged for thousands of years. It had been refreshed countless times. However, the people were no longer paying attention to this announcement. They were paying attention to another announcement. Solipsistic immortal grade. None, cave abode. None, immortal battle record. 72 battles, 72 wins, current coordinates. 92. With this announcement, everyone knew that if they wanted to seize the last coordinates of Earth, unless they killed Solipsistic, they would have to defeat him at least 92 times. Lu Chun looked at the surrounding immortals indifferently and said loudly, "Is there anyone else who wants to snatch Earth's coordinates?" It was a long silence. Not only was there silence, the immortals did not dare to look at Lu Chen's blood-red eyes. In the Guardian battle, there were a total of 204 challengers, including the new challengers. There were 72 true immortals, including 3 8-star true immortals and 132 itinerant immortals. All 204 immortals were killed. Moreover, they died without a complete corpse. Chapter 1254. Lu Chun waited for a while, but no one spoke, so he said in a deep voice, "If you want to challenge me, I'll be there anytime." After that, Lu Chun shouted to Little Beast and the others, "Let's go." Lu Chun returned to Li Shang and the others. He looked at their injuries, then at the 3 covered in white cloth, and finally at Ling Long, "You're back." "Yes." Lu Chun nodded. "Can you help?" Ling Long nodded, and together with Lu Chun, they moved everyone to the 9-star grotto heaven. Fei Jiang, Gong Ming, Zhu Yao, and the 3 loose immortals had already fallen. Even Little Green was powerless to save them. Li Shang, Jin Wan, Gu Yin, and the others were still alive, but they were seriously injured and needed to rest. Even though they were seriously injured, everyone was gathered in front of the herb garden. Everyone stood in front of the corpses of Fei Jiang and the other 2. A breeze blew past, gently blowing their hair, drying the tears in their eyes, and gently caressing Fei Jiang and the others' sleeves. "Fei Jiang, Gongming, Zhu Yao, you did not die in vain." Li Shang said in a trembling voice, "We defended our homeland." After saying that, everyone's tears fell like rain. They had defended their homeland for decades. Their comrades who had gone through fire and water, suffered humiliation, endured humiliation, and groped in the darkness. Just when they saw the light, they left. How could they not feel heartache? Jean Luan said in a trembling voice, "It's a pity you didn't see Chun, killing everyone in the immortal arena. You didn't see him intimidating everyone, and you didn't see him telling everyone that Earth cultivators are all good." Guyen wiped the tears from the corner of his eyes. "My good brother, before the immortal arena, we all agreed that if anyone died in the immortal arena, they would not be sent back to Earth, but be buried in front of the Qin Garden, where we fought together." Lu Chun did not speak, but his eyes were red. Jean Luan patted Lu Chen's shoulder. "Chener, go and say a few words to Fei Jiang, Gong Ming, and Zhu Yao. They must want to hear you talk to them." Lu Chen nodded and took a step forward. "Flying General, Gong Ming, Senior Zhu Yao, we have defended Earth. I promise the three of you that as long as I'm alive, I will never let Earth be sacrificed. I will definitely make the murderer of the three seniors pay with his blood." The other loose immortals had already finished digging their graves, and everyone quickly buried the three of them. A stele was erected, a toast was made, and a kowtow was made. Henceforth, the three loose immortals of Earth slept eternally in the Qin Garden. Li Shang and the others were resting, but Jiu still hadn't woken up. Little Green said that Jiu-Er's body was fine, but he didn't know why she hadn't woken up. Ling Long checked on Jiu-Er's condition and pulled Lu Chun outside the 9-star grotto heaven. She said, "Jiu-Er not only collected the dark erosion set, but also controlled the dark erosion soul." Lu Chun nodded. "Yeah." Ling Long heaved a sigh of relief. "Oh, I knew it. Then there's nothing to worry about." "Why?" Lu Chun asked. Ling Long explained. "In the ancient books, there are a total of 3 times when the dark erosion set appeared. All of them were due to the dark erosion soul devouring the owner. However, my family records the 4th time the dark erosion set appeared. At that time, the owner controlled the dark erosion soul. According to the records, if the owner controls the timely erosion soul, then it's not a bad thing for the owner to run out of spiritual power." Lu Chen frowned as he listened. Ling Long continued. "Every time the owner of the timely erosion set runs out of spiritual power, out of survival instinct, they will draw spiritual power from the dark erosion set. For the owner, this is an increase in strength. This is the special cultivation method of the dark erosion set. The closer to death, the more obvious the effect." Lu Chun was surprised. "I've never heard of this cultivation method." However, if Jiu was fine, Lu Chun finally heaved a sigh of relief. "By the way, do you know what happened to the owner of the dark erosion set? If he mastered this method, he should be very strong." "Of course he died. There's always someone better. The dark erosion set is only 10th on the Jiuqian Ultimate set list. Although it's very strong, it's not the strongest. That's just the set. There are some independent artifacts that are also very powerful. Some are even stronger than the set." "What about my God and Demon Fatebreaker?" Lu Chun asked. Ling Long rolled her eyes at Lu Chun. "The God and Demon Fatebreaker are not on the list." Lu Chun shook his head. He hadn't been on the list for a long time. Whether it was the level ranking, the pet ranking, or the set ranking, none of them seemed to have anything to do with him. They didn't even want to play with him. At that moment, Yi Fan limped out. "Dean." Lu Chun was also very happy to see Yi Fan. Too many things had happened before, so they hadn't had much time to talk. Now, they finally had time. "Yi Fan." Lu Chun patted Yi Fan's shoulder hard. "Good boy. You transcended the tribulation in 6 years. Hee. The key is that you left early, so we made it in time." Lu Chun was stunned for a moment. Then, when he heard Yi Fan talk about the great opportunity of the 6th heaven, his expression became more and more ferocious. "Damn, so all the good things come when I leave? Dean, I think it's because you ate the heavenly tribulation. That's why it was so easy for us to transcend the tribulation." Lu Chen's face turned green and white. He had been taken advantage of for no reason. "Hey, Dean, why did your heavenly tribulation take so long? Back then, I successfully transcended the tribulation in 12 hours. Lu Chen's face darkened. "I transcended it 3 times. How can it be short? 3 times, all at the 12th level? Yeah, Lu Chan finally saw someone familiar and could vent his frustrations. To be precise, it was 4 times. The last 2 times, it even gave me 2 elemental ones. The 4th time, it gave me 5 elemental ones. I really couldn't take it anymore. Luckily, something seemed to have happened to the Heavenly Tower, and I managed to escape. Yi Fan nodded. Oh, no wonder you're called the King of Savages. That is to say, you succeeded in transcending it 3 times. The 4th time, you ran away, so it can't be considered a success or a failure. In the end, you didn't become an immortal. Lu Chen nodded. That should be the case. Sigh, it's quite tragic anyway. The 2 of them chatted casually. Ling Long's expression gradually turned strange. The 12th level of the Heavenly Tribulation was one thing, but 3 times. No, 4 times. That was more than quite tragic. It was absolutely tragic. It was a miracle that this guy was still alive. But this guy didn't think much of it. His disciple must be sick in the head. After hearing such a terrifying thing, he didn't have much of a reaction. He didn't have any doubts at all. Yi Fan, what tribulation are you at now? Lu Chen asked. Oh, I'm at the 10th tribulation. I learned from you that I didn't break my mortal bonds, so my heavenly tribulation is more fierce. But it's definitely not as exaggerated as the 12th level. And I encountered a heavenly tribulation that only appears once in 1,000 years. The power of the heavenly tribulation was reduced, so it wasn't too difficult. Oh, that's good. Lu Chun heaved a sigh of relief. Ling Long frowned as she listened to the conversation between the master and disciple. Her mind was buzzing. 10th level of heavenly tribulation? That's good. After not seeing each other for a long time, the 2 of them had a lot to talk about. Dean, when I tell others that I'm at the 9 tribulations, it's too troublesome to explain. Lu Chun felt the same way. Yeah, it's annoying to say it like that. When others say that I'm an itinerant immortal, I don't explain most of the time. All right, Dean. Senior Li Shang said not to call me Dean in the 7th heaven, but Master. Then I'll call you Master from now on. It doesn't matter. You can call me whatever you want. Ling Long really couldn't stop listening to the conversation between the master and disciple. She could only choose to walk away silently. Chapter 1255. Under Little Green's care, the Earth's itinerant immortals recovered quickly. After a week, everyone had recovered about 70 to 80%. Gio had not recovered yet, but Little Green said that her body was fine. Plus, Ling Long also said that Gio Er's strength was increasing, so Lu Chun was relieved. Lu Chun personally cooked a sumptuous lunch for everyone. Lu Chun introduced Ling Long to everyone. She was a friend who had traveled with him from the Myriad World Maze. When he mentioned the Myriad World Maze, Ling Long secretly glanced at Lu Chun, as if she wanted to say something but stopped. Lu Chun's heart was pounding. This woman wouldn't know anything, right? But no matter what, Lu Chun was still very grateful to her. Ling Long was not as cold as other perfected immortals. Those 2 years in the Myriad World Maze were probably the most desperate years for Lu Chun. Countless failures had left him with no hope. Plus, time was tight. That kind of pressure was unimaginable. If not for Ling Long, he might have gone crazy long ago. Although she was a true immortal, especially after practicing the ice hard art, she would quickly become cold and aloof, but Lu Chun had already regarded her as a friend. Everyone was also very friendly to Ling Long. Ling Long wondered if she was in the 7th heaven. She felt like she had returned to the past when she ate with her family. Oh, right. Chun, you still have a lot of rewards from this immortal battle. You need to go to the immortal bestowment platform to collect them. Those itinerant immortals without coordinates had to pawn items of equivalent value to compete for the coordinates. Since you won, those items are yours. Lu Chen nodded. He already knew about this, but Li Shang and the rest had not recovered. Gio had not woken up, so he was not in the mood to collect them. Chen, what's your record in the immortal battle? Jean Luan asked. 72 wins, Lu Chen answered. Jean Luan nudged Guyen, who was beside her, with a proud expression. 72 wins. Awesome. Guyen rolled his eyes at Jean Luan. Look at how proud you are. It's not even yours. I'm happy to see it too. Jean Luan chuckled. If it weren't for the fact that only true immortals can participate in the immortal battles, Chen Er's battle record would be 200 victories. Lu Chun asked curiously, "What's the use of this record?" "Oh, it's like this. The calculation of battle records is very strict. For example, only true immortals participating in the immortal battles are counted as battle records. If there is a difference of 2 stars or more, the higher level side's victory will not be counted as battle records, but the lower level side's defeat will be counted as battle records. Therefore, battle records in the immortal battles are a symbol of strength. The better your battle record, the more you'll be qualified to challenge those of a higher level, participate in the exploration of the immortal realm, and participate in the auction of treasures. In short, the better your battle record, the more activities you can participate in the seventh heaven, and no one will dare to provoke you." Lu Chun frowned slightly. "Senior Golden Luan, I just heard you say that in the immortal duel, as long as you lose, regardless of whether you are an itinerant immortal or a few stars lower, it will be counted as a loss. Then, other people don't need a victory, but can still count as a loss?" Jean Luan nodded. "Indeed," Li Shang says. "Do you know why loose immortals have to recognize a master? Why is the number of tribulations sometimes more important than the actual star level? Recognizing a master is a powerful immortal master. If others want to bully you, they should at least look at the master's face. Your current star level is higher than others, but if your number of tribulations is not as good as the other parties, you can count on him today. In the future, when he grows up, even killing him is a light punishment. As long as he kills you, he will lose all his dignity in the seventh heaven and will never be able to stand out." Lu Chun went into seclusion for 4 years as soon as he arrived at the sixth heaven, and then fell into the myriad world maze for 2 years. His theoretical knowledge was still in a mess. Fortunately, there was finally someone here to explain it to him. "Chinner, we're all fine now. You can go and receive your reward in the next 2 days. Don't you still have some things to show? Although there shouldn't be anyone coming to challenge us in a short period of time, we can't be careless. Next, we have to develop the herb garden and earn more spirit tablets. You can also exchange them for some resources in the future." Jean Luan said, "In my opinion, it's best to get a better cave abode first. A good cave abode can cultivate at a much faster speed than our 9-star grotto heaven." Lu Chun suddenly said, "Yifan and Jiao are sold their cave abodes. I'll see if I can help them buy a new one first." Yifan immediately said, "Master, I think the 9-star grotto heaven is pretty good. We don't have to rush. Besides, Xiao Zhan and Chu Tian should be coming in a few years. When that time comes, I'll stay with them." Lu Chun smiled. "Let's go and see what we can get first." In the afternoon, Ling Long brought Lu Chun to the immortal bestowment platform. "Lu Chun is your real name?" Ling Long suddenly asked. "Yes." Lu Chun did not hide it. "Do you really want to go to the lower realm to see your son?" Lu Chun was stunned and looked at Ling Long in surprise. Indeed, this woman knew about that matter. Ling Long only smiled. "Mu Sheng told me about you guys. I didn't expect that she was testing you in the myriad world maze." It's almost impossible for a true immortal to descend to the lower realm, apart from a few fortuitous encounters. Only when you reach Sengoku are you qualified to descend to the lower realm. When you reach immortal supremacy, you are no longer restricted. Lu Chun frowned. As the king of savages, didn't that mean he was not qualified to descend to the lower realm? That meant he would not be able to see his son? What fortuitous encounters are you talking about? Lu Chun asked. Immortals, miracles, mystic realms, etc. If I could name them accurately, they wouldn't be called fortuitous encounters. Lu Chun looked at Ling Long in surprise. He felt that she seemed to have changed after coming out of the myriad world maze. "Sai, you haven't cultivated the ice heart technique in a long time, right?" Ling Long smiled. "Not anymore. Someone gave me another cultivation technique." Lu Chun was puzzled. Ling Long was still cultivating the ice heart technique in the myriad world maze. She had been with Lu Chun the entire time. How could she have met such an expert? Soon, he thought of a possibility. Could it be Mu Sheng? What did she say to you? Ling Long turned her head and looked at Lu Chun with a pair of clear eyes. Don't ask. Lu Chun frowned. It seemed that Mu Sheng had not only told Ling Long about the child. They seemed to have talked about other things as well. However, since Ling Long did not say anything, he did not pursue the matter. Soon, they reached the immortal bestowment platform. As soon as he saw Lu Chun, an old man hurried over. Sir, you're here. Lu Chun also knew this person. It was the old man who was angered by him at that time. Senior, were you waiting for me? I wouldn't dare. Sir, please come this way. There are more resources to collect this time, but I've already sorted them out for you. Lu Chun and Ling Long followed the old man to a small house. There are 112 pieces of collateral in total. The old man checked the account book while handing bags of resources to Lu Chun. Spirit tablets, 23,000. Cash withdrawal, 5 million. Elixirs above, 5th grade, immortal level, 9,000. Low grade, 5,000. Mid grade, 3,000. High grade, 1,000. Immortal grade herb seeds, 100,000. Immortal grade elixir formulas, 10. Low grade cave abodes, 3. Mid grade cave abodes, 1. Immortal protection orders, 1 year, 2. Battle pet advancement elixir, 1. Unknown map, 1. Chapter 1256. That's all. Lu Chun asked. The old man's hands trembled as he hurriedly said, Sir, this is already quite a lot. Lu Chun shook his head and kept the items. 112 sets of resources is equivalent to the coordinates of a planet. You call this a lot? Sir, allow me to say something unpleasant. A planet's coordinates like Earth can only be exchanged for this much. If it's a high-level planet's coordinates, the price will naturally be different. Although this was unpleasant to hear, it was the truth. After all, to others, Earth was just a technological world. Lu Chun nodded and did not make things difficult for the old man. After collecting the resources, the two of them came out of the immortal bestowment platform. Ling Long smiled and said, Your 9-star grotto heaven can be exchanged for an intermediate grade cave abode. The 9-star grotto heaven was an intermediate grade cave abode. This time, one of the spoils of war was an intermediate grade cave abode. It was 1 grade higher than the 9-star grotto heaven. Ling Long, what grade is your cave abode? I was thinking of selling these cave abodes and seeing if I can redeem Yi Fan and Jiu Er's cave abodes. Ling Long smiled. After successfully passing the tribulation, we will have a place in the immortal realm and will be automatically assigned a cave abode. However, the grade will not be too high. The cave abode I was assigned at the beginning was only an intermediate grade. This is already the highest grade among the cave abodes assigned. Your disciple and friend should also be at the intermediate grade. If you want to sell, let's put it this way. You can buy an intermediate grade cave abode for about 100 to 300 spirit tablets. An intermediate grade cave abode is about 10 times the price of an intermediate grade cave abode. As for an advanced grade cave abode, the price will be 10 times higher. Lu Chun was surprised. So much difference? Of course. In the 7 heavens, the cave abodes are where the immortals live for a long time. It is also the most important place for cultivation. The higher the spirit chi, the price will be 10 times higher. In short, your 20,000 spirit tablets are already a huge sum of money. Even I can't take out so many spirit tablets in one go. Lu Chun thought for a while. If the intermediate grade cave abode was only 2,000 to 3,000 spirit tablets, he could return them to Yi Fan and Jiu first. Although the two of them sold their cave abodes, and he would still get the spirit tablets, Lu Chun naturally wouldn't let them suffer a loss since they had fought to the death to protect Earth. After descending the sky stairway, Ling Long handed Lu Chun 10 teleportation talismans. Lu Chun, these 10 teleportation talismans record the more frequently visited cities and regions in a human race's immortal realm. They will be of use to you in the future. I haven't been back for 2 years, so I need to go back and take a look. I want to accompany you back. Lu Chun was also taken aback by the sudden need to part with Ling Long. In these 2 years, the two could be said to be inseparable. Although the two of them had quarreled, in the end, their relationship was very different from before. However, all good things must come to an end. Linglong also had her own matters to attend to. Luchan took a deep breath and smiled at Linglong. Linglong, there's something I've always wanted to tell you. Linglong was stunned for a moment. Then, she couldn't help but feel nervous. She didn't know when her face started to heat up. What did you say? Thank you, Luchan said with a smile. A trace of disappointment flashed in Linglong's eyes, but it was just a glance. Then, she said with a smile, since you're so grateful to me, why don't you consider acknowledging me as your master again? Luchan smiled slightly. This time, Linglong was obviously joking with him. Okay, I'm leaving. See you again someday. After saying that, Linglong activated the teleportation talisman and disappeared in front of Luchan. Luchan smiled and shook his head. Finally, you're not going to tell me that we won't see each other again? She had already left. Luchan also used the teleportation talisman to return to the 9-star grotto heaven. As soon as he returned, Luchan gathered everyone. According to Gu Yin, everyone would move to a middle-level cave abode in the future. The other 3 low-level cave abodes and the 9-star grotto heaven would be a total of 4 cave abodes for the hangers-on to live in. After all, after acknowledging Gu Yin as their master, they did not have a stable residence. Luchan hid it from Yifan and gave Lishang 6,000 spirit tablets to buy 2 middle-level cave abodes. This was to compensate Yifan and Jiao. The immortal pill formulas were naturally given to Little Green. In any case, Luchan did not know how to make them. When Little Green saw so many immortal pill formulas, he was extremely excited. In addition, Luchan asked Little Green to choose suitable seeds for the alchemy apprentices. The rest were given to Gu Yin to cultivate in the Qin Garden. After all, this was the immortal region. Some herbs might be more suitable to be cultivated in the immortal region. However, to cultivate high-grade herbs, they still needed to buy some spiritual items as fertilizer. Luchan set aside another 2,000 spirit tablets for the development of the Qin Garden. Luchan was not in a hurry to sell the 10,000 pills. He had enough spirit tablets for now, and the pills were necessities, so he would keep them with him for the time being. After distributing the resources, Luchan still had 15,000 spirit tablets, 5 million cash withdrawal notes, 10,000 pills, 2 one-year protection orders, a pet advancement pill, and an unknown map. Li Shang and the others were already busy packing up, preparing to go to the Holy Spirit Grotto Heaven. Luchan found a training room and summoned the little beast, the little fur ball, the little originator, and rhubarb. For some reason, the little beast and the little fur ball seemed to be in low spirits. Little beast, what's wrong with you? Dad, I seem to have eaten a lot during the battle. I need to digest it slowly. Squeak, squeak, squeak. The little furball situation was different. It said that it was hungry. Luchan was having a headache. In terms of digestion, the little furball was second to none. Even a little beast was no match for it. But then again, the little beast had been eating spirit cores. It was normal for it to have indigestion. Dad, what do you want from us? Asked the little beast. Luchan took out the pet advancement pills. Do you have any use for these? The little beast glanced at them, uninterested. Dad, I don't need them. Only low-level pets can advance with them. The little fur ball, on the other hand, was quite interested. It kept squeaking. Boss, is it delicious? Luchan pulled a long face. These are pet advancement pills, not candies. The little fur ball instantly lost interest. The little originator shook its head. As a spirit of the world and a puppet at first, it didn't need the pills at all. The 3 of them looked at the pills with disdain, as if only garbage would eat them. Luchan was quite embarrassed. This is the first time I've seen something like this since I came to the Jiutian. Why do you all dislike it so much? Forget it. I'll give it away if you don't want it. Right then, with a clang, a bronze mirror fell to the ground. Luchan and the little beast looked at where the sound came from, only to see Rhubarb standing there with a wronged look. Even the 9 turns golden crow mirror had fallen. That was the little beast's life. Woof, woof, woof. Who are you calling garbage? Don't you dare run away when I wake up. Rhubarb bellowed. The little beast shrank its neck. Rhubarb, I didn't mean it. The little fur ball hurried to Lu Chen's hand and gave the advancement pill to Rhubarb. The little originator rubbed Rhubarb with its big head, pushing Rhubarb away. Rhubarb didn't hesitate to eat the advancement pill. Lu Chen walked over to Rhubarb and looked at Rhubarb in surprise. Rhubarb, are you sure this thing will work? With that said, Lu Chen picked up the bronze mirror from the ground for Rhubarb. Lu Chen was stunned as soon as he picked up the bronze mirror. First turn golden chrome mirror? That thing had been upgraded from the 9, turns golden chrome mirror to the 3rd, and then to the 1st. Chapter 12:57. After taking the Battle Pet Advancement Pill, Rhubarb rolled up and fell asleep. Lu Chen didn't have the chance to ask it, so he could only put away the golden chrome mirror for it. Later, Lu Chen and Earth's loose immortal moved into the sacred spirit grotto. When he got the cave, Lu Chen also got the transmission talisman. In the 7th layer of heaven, as long as there was a transmission talisman, no matter how far it was not a distance. Although it was only a medium-grade cave, it was more than twice as big as the 9-star grotto. The cave was full of spirit energy. Even the resting room had a high concentration of spirit energy, not to mention the cultivation room. There were 30 low-level cultivation rooms and 3 intermediate-level cultivation rooms. Even if they were all low-level cultivation rooms, the effect was half as good as the 9-star grotto. And the 3 intermediate-level cultivation rooms, the spirit energy could reach twice as much as the 9-star grotto. Lu Chen finally understood why the price of a medium-grade cave was 10 times that of a low-grade cave. Ah, you can cultivate by eating and sleeping here. Jin Wan laughed happily. Lower your voice. Don't disturb Miss Jiao. Gu Yin said. Not long after, Li Shang also came back. He bought 2 medium-grade cultivation rooms and gave them to Lu Chen. Lu Chen gave one of them to Yi Fan and kept the other for Jiao. He would give it to her when she woke up. Master, I told you not to buy it for me, Yi Fan said as he took the transmission talisman. If you want to buy it for me, it's fine to sell it at a discount. I think it's better to find a chance to sell it. Your place is so big. Can't I just squeeze in here? Lu Chen almost vomited blood. He suddenly thought of something and asked, how is the financial situation of the God Devil Academy? With Senior Brother Black Armor Wong, how can it be bad? Even I, who have been the dean for 6 years, now owe Senior Brother Black Armor Wong more than 200 million spirit stones. Yi Fan shook his head and sighed. At first, I took a fancy to the dean's salary. Who knew that after I got the salary, I owed even more. If it weren't for Senior Brother Black Armor Wong pressuring me, I would have gone through my tribulation next year. Good heavens, Yi Fan ascended to immortality because he was forced to pay a debt. Lu Chen couldn't help but admire this kid. However, even if Yi Fan transcended the tribulation and became an immortal, he would still be a poor immortal. Then how are you going to pay me back after you transcend the tribulation? Sigh, I definitely have to return the money. When I have money, I'll see if I can descend to the lower realm. Lu Chen shook his head. He didn't doubt that Yi Fan would return the money, but he didn't know how long it would take for Yi Fan to have the money. How about this? I'll take out all the cultivation methods and equipment that I need to withdraw. There should still be some left. When the time comes, I'll buy back the cave from you. After all, it will be useful in the future. Lu Chen returned to his room and prepared to materialize the item. With 15,000 spirit tablets, Lu Chen continued to extract raging flames, incinerate the heavens. This immortal art actually required 500 spirit tablets to be extracted. It was double the price of an ordinary immortal art. Next was the infinite God-Fiend sword. As for the other God-Fiend sets, other than the 9 transformations, they all required 1,000 spirit tablets. Lu Chen thought that this guy probably didn't need too many spirit tablets. 1,000, no reaction. Damn, it can't be, it's still not enough? 2,000 spirit tablets, no reaction. Lu Chen gasped. Big brother, you're already twice the price of others. Why don't you come out? At this moment, Heaven Pilfer's voice rang out in Lu Chen's mind. The price of a weapon is always the highest among the sets. And the price of an item with an artifact spirit far surpasses other equipment. Under normal circumstances, it's at least 5 times the price of an ordinary weapon. So expensive. Heaven Pilfer continued. It might be more than that. The infinite Godfiend sword's attribute is extremely special. It's an extremely rare divine artifact that can increase one's strength on its own. Even in the inverse of the Godfiend, there isn't a second one with this ability. Don't think that it's just a devouring ability. With the infinite Godfiend sword, it can continuously increase the attribute limit of the Godfiend anonymous set. The infinite sword can devour equipment to strengthen itself and its owner's strength. Lu Chun, do you still remember how many equipment the infinite sword has devoured? Lu Chen's face darkened. I don't remember. Let's not talk about the scattered ones. Just that time in the Immortal Corpse Mound, there should be at least a few 100,000. A few 100,000 that might be several times the price of the withdrawal. Lu Chen, who thought that he had become rich, suddenly realized that he wasn't much richer than Yifan. 10,000 spirit tablets smashed down, but the infinite Godfiend's sword still didn't react. Lu Chen hurriedly stopped and withdrew all the equipment and cultivation methods that he had yet to withdraw. In the end, he only spent less than 100 spirit tablets. With more than 4,000 left, Lu Chen smashed another 4,000, but the infinite sword still couldn't be withdrawn. Lu Chen still had a few hundred spirit tablets on hand. In the end, he could only temporarily dismiss the idea of withdrawing the infinite sword. After leaving the room, Lu Chen looked at Yi Fan and shook his head. You'd better sell the cave abode yourself. I can't afford it. No way. Master, you had 15,000 spirit tablets just now. How did it disappear in such a short time? Yi Fan said in shock. I invested 14,000 spirit tablets into the infinite sword. It still can't be withdrawn. Yi Fan's eyes widened. He had also taken a lot of cultivation methods and equipment. Naturally, he knew that 14,000 spirit tablets was equivalent to dozens of people's equipment. Master, why don't we go work? Yi Fan suggested. Lu Chen rolled his eyes at Yi Fan. What work? Can you get rich by working? Then, how about fighting immortals? Fighting immortals won't make much money. True immortals have coordinates. With coordinates, we can't win spirit tablets. As for itinerant immortals, I don't really want to snatch their things. Lu Chen pondered and suddenly received a message. I'll go to the nearby city to take a look. Master, let's wait for 2 days. When Sister Jiao wakes up, let's go together. We still need a lot of spirit tablets to withdraw. Yifan wasn't simple either. A mid-level cave abode cost 2,000 to 3,000 spirit tablets. After deducting the price difference, he should have at least 2,000 spirit tablets. In the end, it still wasn't enough. As for Jiao, she definitely needed a lot of spirit tablets. Her dark erosion set probably wasn't cheap either. Lu Chun thought about it. Since Earth was temporarily safe, there was no harm in waiting for 2 more days. 3 days later, when Lu Yi was researching a new formula, she inadvertently discovered that Jiao had opened her eyes. She hurriedly came to inform Lu Chun. Jiao, Lu Chun walked quickly to Jiao's bed. You're finally awake. Nameless, I actually woke up a long time ago. I also heard some of your conversation. It's just that I've been cultivating, so I didn't wake up. Jiao sat up and looked at the sacred spirit grotto heaven. This is your new home? Lu Chen looked at Jiao with gratification. Thank you, and Yi Fan this time. All right, I bought you a new cave abode. Jiao looked at Lu Chen tenderly and smiled. Didn't Yi Fan say that he didn't need to buy us a new cave abode? Even if I didn't help you, I would probably sell the cave abode and exchange it for some spirit tablets. Lu Chen said, You've helped me so much. How can a new cave abode represent it? I say, the two of you don't have to be so polite. Little Green held a cup of water and looked at the two chatting. He was really anxious. He put down the teacup and said meaningfully, The little beast and the little fur ball are accompanying rhubarb. After saying that, he looked at Lu Chen and winked. Little Green, are your eyes okay? Lu Chen asked with concern. Little Green held his forehead and sighed. Maybe I'm blind. I couldn't even tell what kind of person Boss is. I was wrong. That you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.